armed and dangerous.
Yes, fully armed. Yes, people. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, worldwide. This is the Titans. Hey, people call me, brothers. And them I say, you know, we're search and we can't find out about them for God's sake. The time roll back.
Yes.
Time roll back, people. So at the same time everywhere, no, like, you know, New York time, Jamaica time, you know, Canada, yes, Toronto time, the time roll back. So, you know, you understand? So it match, you know, when you watch the Titans now, we're not signing 7.
Yes.
But yet now we're not signing 7-7.
All right.
Jamaica time. So we're gonna catch it now, yeah? But tonight we're acting because the first thing, let me just show. If the grubs can't fit, then we quit.
Yeah.
Yes. But it can't fit. So our gloves are see that can't fit better. So yes. So right now, you know us our worries.
OJ this tonight.
We're not even call their name again. But see the our gloves up, my brothers put it there so.
All right.
It can't fit, so you're no problem with the Titans.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right. Because start the show line chatting. Because tell me what, today them have the court case. And if that favorable in the Prime Minister name, you don't see it in every paper. You don't see the man in my head.
Every paper.
Yeah, man, I'm at it, man.
So
let's start the show.
It's nowhere to be found.
Titans! Not worry about it. 1 a.m.
Start packing because you are going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, man. Titans.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, yes. All right. Hey, take over this show because I'm talking at the studio. Yeah. Talk about the Prime Minister for me.
Yes. When I say like kick it off now.
Well, as it relates to what transpired today, I know, you know, nothing released to the wider society. The indictment and the freedom of speech and the freedom of press, as it relates to, you know, man, I hold on for them speech, and the press now is like the press being submerged, not to release any information to the wider society. So we know right there and then that if it was favorable for the Prime Minister, it would have been out.
True.
But because it's an unfavorable result that comes his way, they suppress the whole context at the court hearing. So we are left in limbo. So we have to make sure now that tonight we come ask the question as it relates to transparency. Because this is no secret anymore. It's out there. And we should have get a briefing right there and then, rather than being submerged and left in limbo. So the powers that being, we have to hold them responsible. You understand? Because no mainstream media should not be prevented from, you know, exposing the truth to the public. Because it's a grave matter that affect all Jamaican, both home and abroad. And, you know, the consequence of it, you know, the Jamaican society are feeling it as it relates to the high inflation and, you know, everything that goes along with it. People can't find them food. Motorists being extorted. All type of thing going on because of corruption. So when a government create a proliferate a corruption and don't want it to be in the public space, that is something telling us of dictatorship within the government. Because we know in real democratic society, freedom of speech is a part of democracy. And so nothing should be held back. Because if it was a little ordinary man, would I hear what transpired? So in the case of the Prime Minister, he's no different from any other Jamaican citizen. He should respect the Constitution, and the Constitution is something that he should have adhered to. So the fact that him violate all Constitution terms, we can't release him off of the hook. So you know, tonight we have to deal with him on the Titans. Because we want answers, and we need answers immediately. What transpired in that hearing today is of paramount interest to the wider society at large. You know, the people in Jamaica have vested interest in this court case. So there's no way we can have a cover up at this stage. If it's out there, keep it out there. Whatever the new development that arises on a day-to-day basis regarding the hearing, we need to be brief and brief precisely and, you know, accurately and within the time frame. It can't be when you want to publish something where you go fabricate and come. No, we don't need that. In a case like this, it should have been live on the television, the hearing. You understand? Because we're seeing several court cases right across the world where you have live interaction on social media. It's just like Parliament in a sense. You understand? We've seen cases in Jamaica as well where, you know, it's been transmitted. So what is the narrative behind this one, why it's not being transmitted? And why the information has been withheld from the public at large? So I pass that over to you now, Brother Byron.
Yes, Wayne. Yes, Brother Lyde. I mean, everything that you have said, right, is 100% true. Now, if remember, the Prime Minister is the one who decided, right, that he's going to seek judiciary review, right, in terms of opposing the Integrity Commission investigators. For the fact that the Integrity Commission investigators, right, want to, you know, find out from the Prime Minister his true source of wealth, right, because there's a clear disparity in terms of the Prime Minister income, assets, and liabilities, right? The Prime Minister wealth, you know, wealth being amassed as it is, right, cannot be justified where his income, assets, and liabilities concerned. And we know from day one, Lyde, right, that move, when he claimed that he seeking judicial review, was definitely a bonehead move. Because that go against, right, the very core principle of checks and balance, right, and good governance. Because if you are a person who dealing with good governance, you don't want to seek a judiciary review with the intention, as clearly defined by the Prime Minister, that he wanted to eliminate, right, the Corruption Act, section 15, subsection 5, if I am correct. Or no, subsection 14, subsection 5. Forgive me for that error in judgment, my people. And what it speaks as it relates to illicit enrichment, right? So the Prime Minister wants to get rid of that Corruption Act, right? It doesn't make sense in terms of good governance, right?
No.
Here we are, the art of democracy, particularly when it comes to the press, the freedom of the press, right, is the essence of our democracy. I am not saying that, okay, all right, the Prime Minister, right, is suppressing the press, right, from speaking out. But what I am saying that this application that he seek extra judiciary review for, right, we were told that it would be today, right, and that is it in terms of when a government is not transparent, because it is now leaving us, right, to decipher, what is taking place, right? Why have we not received any information pertaining to the Prime Minister's application, right? Whether or not the court is going to say, okay, all right, yes, the Prime Minister is on merit in terms of the application, and of course, the court will hear it, right? We have not received anything, and we were told that today, right, would be, of course, the application hearing, and we expect that the public should be informed, right?
Definitely.
This is transparency, and and as I said, if the government is dealing with transparency, the government at least, right, should have come out, right, and someone speak as it relates to what's transpired. Now, I can say that every Jamaican citizen at current is totally oblivious of what is transpiring with that, right? So we left in the dark once again. But it is bad for the Prime Minister and his administration, right? Let us say that if the week proceed on to the ending of the week and then going into the following week and we are not hearing anything, then now the people have to decide that, okay, all right, if it was good information for the Prime Minister, right, of course, would all receive information on it. And so then if it is a situation that the court kicked out the application, so to speak, in layman terms, right, and they want to keep it as a hush-hush, it spelled bad for the Jamaica Labour Party administration, because the Prime Minister cannot now venturing into a coming election, right, having all of that situation hanging over his administration head. It is not only him alone, right, because this now you're talking about 8 persons for illicit enrichment. Compound and make the matters worse. The Prime Minister's wife could be a situation that the Prime Minister is a part of, the Prime Minister's wife is a party to being a part of the illicit 8. You understand? That again is going to have a significant negative impact. You understand, on the Jamaica Labour Party administration, because what is it? Is the Jamaica Labour Party administration is going to say, okay, we are going to we don't, regardless of the corruption charges hang over our heads, we are still saying to the Jamaican people, right, to go to the poll and elect these corrupted persons, right? Now, where do we go from here? Because what the people want to know, the people want to know, okay, what happened, right, as it relates to today's application hearing, right? And if it is that the Prime Minister, right, that application has been kicked out, right, whether or not the Prime Minister is going to appeal, you understand, the fact of the matter, we want to know, right, so that the people can make an informed decision as it relates to looking at the Jamaica Labour Party, right, and say, to ourselves, right, both locally and in the diaspora, that, okay, all right, this is an administration, the entire administration, right, under a dark cloud, right, which can't look good for any member of parliament, because, first of all, we don't know. We might presume that, okay, all right, since the Prime Minister and his wife filed together, and we have seen that the Prime Minister now is number 1 person of the 8, we are just going to be, saying that, okay, all right, reasonably speaking, it would appear as if the Prime Minister's wife, right, is a part of that. Yeah, we still don't know whether or not that is the case. But again, it is a situation where it leaves the electorate in a situation totally uninformed, right? So then, okay, who are these members, right? Is Bobby Montague is one? Is the Justice Minister is one? Is and the list goes on in terms of, you know, all the 49 members that
Yes.
been under scrutiny, because apart from the Prime Minister, no one of us knows, right, who the other 7, right, persons are. And so then you can't keep, right, the electorate blind. And this also speaks in extension, right, of the extensiveness of the corruption with Jamaica Labour Party administration. Because if this is the case now, we would say now that the Prime Minister now in terms of, you understand, suppressing, right, the freedom of the press, right, suppressing
Definitely.
that, and yes, suppressing information, you understand, as it relates to the general public, you understand. And so then, of course, it is a reasonable request in terms of what the Prime Minister, the cloud that surround the Prime Minister and his cabinet, and in extension, right, the members of Parliament, right, the people, right, deserve the right to really have an understanding of what is, you know, transpiring, so that the people can make an informed decision. Yes, Brother Lonzo.
Yeah.
Yes, man. All right. So here this now. So when you have a Prime Minister, remember that private life you live, sir. No.
Yes.
So the people them have a right to know what's going on. You can't have a Prime Minister where it's a three-finger jack and nobody don't know what going on. You can't cover up that. The court can't cover up that.
Exactly.
It's just out, straight out, right out with the public. You can't. This is not something for the court or who that the court say, listen me, you turn it down, but don't tell the population because them are going to give up. We are going to give up now.
Yes.
Before we play that, I'm going to play this and show me we talk. I'm going to play this.
News Tuesday, we told you about Positive Media Solutions Limited, a company linked to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and incorporated in October 2020. At the time, the company had 100 shares, 99 of which were held by Imperium, another company associated with Dr. Holness. In 2022, the shares were given to Andrew Matthew Holness, the son of the Prime Minister. So what is Positive Media and what does the company do? According to the Integrity Commission report, it manages the intellectual property of the Prime Minister's digital domain, such as social media accounts. Positive Media rents...
That's wrong, you know what I'm telling people. Let me just stop it, the people. When you have a Prime Minister account, you can't say, man, it's the Prime Minister social media account. Government have JIS and other things but deal with this kind of thing. You can't go say my social media because a Prime Minister social media account supposed to be like what them say put us out with the money in a US and anything there. Prime Minister social media account, him can't manage that personally. Even not a Prime Minister for himself, brother. That's when him going a private life, him have Andrew own his private account. But a Prime Minister social account, social media account, shouldn't manage by him. And then him can rent out and collect money for these things. It's wrong. You understand what I say, Byron?
Of course.
It's wrong.
Again, Wayne, the fundamental thing here is that all of these companies that the Prime Minister have, right, now seems to the public, right, as shell companies. These are companies, obviously, where it appears, based on, you know, what we are seeing with, right, more than $400 to $500 million running through, right, 4 of the Prime Minister's company. If you look on ADMAT, and to define ADMAT again, Wayne, which is the original source of the crime, right, is a holding company. And when you look on ADMAT, being an holding company, Wayne, right, remember that ADMAT don't have any form of employees. None of Andrew shell companies, based on what you are seeing, have no form of live employees. They are all shell companies. And with ADMAT, right, ADMAT doesn't have an account. And this is very serious for the Prime Minister, because if ADMAT doesn't have an account, then you have to ask yourself the question, right, that during the period of 2000, because ADMAT farm at 2008. So let us take it from there, Wayne. 2008 and onward, where ADMAT start to buy up all these properties and not having an account. The question I have to ask, how did ADMAT, what method of payment did ADMAT utilize to purchase these properties? It is very serious for the Prime Minister. What method of payment, right, that the Prime Minister used to purchase these properties? The Prime Minister house at Beverly Hills, right, where his lawyer claimed that the Prime Minister used mortgage, right, and so forth. Well, guess what? Investigation are done, right, and there is no mortgage found. So then, where the Prime Minister would have received the cash from to, pay cash to build his house, because that is what it is suggesting. If people understand where we are coming from with ADMAT, right? ADMAT, as it relates to the original source, where ADMAT purchasing roughly about 4 properties, right? ADMAT located in St. Lucia, right? After a time where St. Lucia law changes, right? So if one wants to say that, okay, ADMAT had created in St. Lucia as it relates to, dodging tax, it is much more than dodging tax.
Yeah, but brother, don't move, because that was a trick again by Bailey. We can't buy that because they were not buy it. ADMAT never have an account. So
No.
it was a company. You can open you can register a company in any one of the country, brother.
Yes.
You operate out in Jamaica same way. I remember by right, him say him have no account fee because him tell the IC. So we know we see it in the report, okay? It's a holding company. But yes, still every house where the money come from, we buy the house I pay for what him pay for. Then him just buy it in the name of ADMAT, and that's just a holding company.
Yeah.
It have no workforce, it have no
workforce.
Not at all. It's a holding company. So that all right. So let me tell you, I could just break down something for them Byron and lie. So you have some man where them used to do them little hustling. So them use them granny as a holding company, same way. I just call it company. And they use them mother who used to wash the clothes. And they use their sister who slump on a little sidebar. We never do no work yet. But yes, still them have a house of value of 50 million and 100 million. That alone that show you say, but your granny well, maybe just wash the clothes, in our lifetime. Oh, your granny have a house here in a 2010 or 2205 and it value 100 million. Your granny will never see the money yet. Them use them granny for holding company. So it are the same kind of blueprint it look like for ADMAT and other shell companies, because shell companies like that in a people. So them have the veil over what them to do when them register and use them lawyer, right? Them can hide behind that because you don't know what the director, what the shareholder. No. So you have to peel away that when them call it, them know why you peel away the veil, remove it, right? So you can peel in and look at who own it. But, so you see the company with a name, but in a real life, it's not a company, it's not operating.
But the Prime Minister, in terms of all these businesses that the Prime Minister set up, and where you have Malawi Fort, right, is talking about the protection of the corporate veil, right?
Yes.
The Prime Minister cannot hide himself, you understand, under the corporate veil, right? Cannot. Because the fact of the matter in terms of when the Integrity Commission investigating, and you are talking about the corporate veil in terms of information need to be private, you understand, on a certain limit. However, if it comes to investigation and where the leads is going to take the Prime Minister, to take the Integrity Commission into NCB, where they are tracking that the Prime Minister have accounts in the in NCB. How could that penetrate the corporate veil? That has now become a part of an investigation. And remember that the Integrity Commission investigators has the ambit to investigate, right? In law, right? The Integrity Commission, right, is the entity that is going to investigate when it comes to procurement procedures to ensure that, procurement processes being conducted in tandem of the law, right? And so then there can't be any penetration of a corporate veil as it relates to protection of information. You understand where that is concerned, right? What will happen as it relates to the Prime Minister 2021 statutory declaration, right? Remember that prior to this, it is not that the Integrity Commission investigators just taking it up on themselves, you understand, and just investigating the Prime Minister without any form of basis, right? And seeking information without any form of basis. The problem is that within, you understand, the appropriate procedures as it relates to government workers that need to file their statutory declaration, right, annually. Remember that the Prime Minister fall under that. And so then the Prime Minister filing for 2021 has a situation where you are seeing that the Prime Minister income and assets and liabilities really cannot justify as it relates to the amount of wealth that the Prime Minister amass. And so then the primary problem is the Prime Minister's source of wealth. And let us take it back as it relates to the Integrity Commission investigators. This is where the Director of Investigation, right, stops as it relates to not getting adequate answers, right, from the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister refused to answer questions that pertaining to, right, the source of wealth. So then the Prime Minister having difficulty to explain that to the IC, right, for the better part of 3 years. So then, okay, the IC have now developed a basis, right, to now investigate the Prime Minister's source of wealth, because the Prime Minister's statutory declaration, right, that the Prime Minister submitted, right, just cannot be certified, right? When the Director of Investigations, when they are investigating, they realize that, okay, what the Prime Minister submitted, right, it is just not equate as it relates to his income, assets, and liabilities. So then the Integrity Commission, to the fact that the Prime Minister is not responding as it relates to the source of income, right? Then the Integrity Commission have to hand over the case to FID, right? And this is where it is. Now that the case handed over to FID, right? The Prime Minister, right, continuing to show signs of, I would say, dishonesty, right? Strong signs of corruption, strong signs of guilt. Because to the fact that the Prime Minister cannot explain his source of wealth, now the Prime Minister is now trying to stop, right, the proceedings from take place as it relates to FID further investigating the Prime Minister. So what the Prime Minister had done now is to seek judicial review. Now, this is where it stopped as it relates to today. So we are now looking, anticipating, right, okay, what sort of decision making process that the court utilize, right? Is the court stop the application, and so then that the Prime Minister simply has to be investigated? That is where we are tonight. And yes, the Prime Minister honestly cannot make this die, because guess what? As from tonight, you can tell the Prime Minister that the entire week and going straight into the election, this is going to be the problem now, because the people need to know what is going on, and say we're not show you the gloves, we're not tell us the gloves them off. As from
yes, and then can't fit, so and can't quit. Can't fit and then we'd allow him, we'd quit. Yes. But can't fit, so
exactly. What we're not sure say if the Prime Minister handed fit in the gloves, that means that the Prime Minister don't guilty of corruption. But if the Prime Minister hand can't fit, that means that the Prime Minister guilty of corruption. And what we not say it can't fit. So
And then I know, but yeah, me could give him a double thing with I let him go pan. That one and the other one, if it could have fit pan my hand, then we could have let him go. But it can't even fit, so we can't even let you go. And Jonas, yeah, the worst thing.
yes.
Yeah, the worst thing. And wanna disrespect us because we expect the court. You know, Sandra Despat though. We expect the court to let go this, you know. But them turn it down, and when them turn it down, them throw it out in it. It's out, you know. But them I say, listen, don't go out there and make them hear because you know next thing it the whole that I mash up. Please make them keep it there and it not go out there. Pastor Ricky, I try to come in, you know, but me see it not connect. Device not connected. Yes.
When you notice, the Prime Minister, let me say this to Jamaican people. The Prime Minister putting back Dalrymple in the circle, right? It's calculated, you know. People need to understand that sort of move, what the Prime Minister had done, is quite calculated. What the Prime Minister is saying, the same course of action that it takes as it relates to Dalrymple, get back into the circle, right? That people must exercise due diligence with him. That is the message that the Prime Minister is sending. So Jamaican people need to be aware that the Prime Minister is saying, no, all right, due diligence. And you know what the Prime Minister due diligence is? The Prime Minister due diligence is to utilize delay tactics. So the Prime Minister due diligence, according to him, right, is the utilization of delay tactics. You understand? So that it goes on and stretch on and stretch on and stretch on and stretch on. And when it dropped now into the DPP lap, the DPP is going to look now and say, okay, you know, as a result of certain things, okay, what we have seen here is abuse of process.
Yes.
This is the Prime Minister playbook. The Prime Minister wants to depend on what the DPP is using as a weapon to get them off, which is due abuse of process. So then we have Dalrymple in the court, we have Rural Reid in the court, right? We have Andrew Holness, right? Him now in the court because him seek judicial review. And so then this is the trick that he wants to utilize, delay tactics. So then when are we going to hear about Rural Reid case? Right? When are we going to hear about, right, Dalrymple's case? Because just imagine, you know, Dalrymple as an ongoing case and Dalrymple put back, right, into the circle of corruption. Now, Rural Reid, you understand, they are slowly patching him back into, you understand, the circle of corruption. And likewise, Andrew Holness want due diligence to exercise. And as I said, that due diligence is all about delaying tactics, you understand, so that when it stretch out, Andrew Holness is now waiting that, okay, we are not going to respond to this. Response to probably mainstream media or social media, and to try to make the situation die out. But guess what? It is not going to die out. It is not going to die out. This is going to hang on the ballot. This now has now put on the ballot. Let me say it to the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister doesn't understand where we are going, you understand social media, right? We are making sure that we energize every platform. You understand? To know that, listen me, this now has to put on the ballot where Jamaica Labour Party is concerned. Every Jamaican must now say that if we can get clarity to the court hearing where judicial review is concerned, and we cannot get clarity for the court case as it relates to Dalrymple, and we cannot get clarity as it relates to the court case of Rural Reid, Jamaican people have to take a positive stand to say you cannot stand for corruption. Under no circumstances that you can stand for corruption, that these cases that are pending, you are saying that these persons must show up on a ballot and they must be voted for. We couldn't be saying that. Jamaica, we couldn't be saying that. If we are saying that, then we are no worse than a banana republic. Honestly speaking, we would have been worse than a banana republic. What we would be saying, we'll be saying it is okay for corruption to take place, right? It's okay for the people to suffer by high inflation, right? Because when they steal the money, you understand, we going to have to pay for it. So what Jamaican people will be saying, that it is okay for politicians to steal the money and it is okay for taxpayers to pay it back. We cannot be saying that, Jamaican people. So you need to be aware, be cognizant of the message of what the Prime Minister is saying. We have to push back in saying that enough is enough, right? We cannot have a Prime Minister is saying that Jamaican people don't need to have an understanding of what is going on with Rural Read, what is going on with Dalrymple, what is going on with him, and furthermore, what is going on with the illicit enrichment. Jamaican people, you need to get up, stand up for your right, and demand checks and balance and transparency. And I yield back.
Yeah, I just want to say, welcome to Pastor Ricky for joining the platform. It's been a pleasure to have you here. But I just want to state clearly to the court and to Andrew Holness that whatever recipe you guys have cooking, it won't be served on the Jamaican citizen. Because we are now entering to a phase of general election, less than a year away, and we cannot have people who are being under investigation running on a ballot, because that would have done a damage to our democracy. And our democracy has always been the forefront of our liberation. Our national heroes has fought and have shed blood and gave their life for democracy. Freedom is a part of democracy. That is the most fundamental aspect of democracy. And that's what our national heroes fought for. So we can't have, in 21st century, Prime Minister under investigation, members within his cabinet, as it relates to the other 7 that we have not been privy to their names, that are under investigation, running on a ballot. That would have been an insult to the electorate in Jamaica. So we, the Titans, are calling for information to be dispersed in mainstream media so that the Jamaican citizen can be aware of what has transpired. Today, the Prime Minister cannot find a way out of this mess that he and his lawyer implicated in the first place. The farm company to do malpractices. These companies are shell company that should have never been erected in the first place. So it shows where the check and balance is concerned, that the Prime Minister have no regard for the law of the land. How could he expect to get away when he's carrying out illicit transaction and not performing as he's been elected to perform? He should be the serving master of the country and not the corrupt master of the country. But we see where the Prime Minister has headlined all the list of corruption. And he has implicated several members within his cabinet to follow suit. And these people, we see them being pushed aside and brought back as if Jamaican public are idiots. He has no respect for the public at large. And cases like these are just exactly what I'm making reference of. Dalrymple, she has a court case. Rural Read has a court case. The Prime Minister has a court case. And 7 more official members within his cabinet are under investigation, pending court case. So We cannot have these people trying to weave their way back into politics. As I'm saying, that would be an indictment on our democracy. And the justice system should be transparent enough to call a spade and stop playing with a spade as it is a cutlass. You're trying to cut your way through a gap. There's no gap for this prime minister anymore. He's in a tunnel that has ended. There's no way out of this, because this resolution that the people are looking forward to has to be here and now. We can't allow it to drag on and for him to be on a ballot paper campaigning all over the country, wanting to win another term. That term is non-existent. The Jamaican electorate have spoken sufficiently, because the local government election has been a thorough indication that the Jamaican electorate, society at large, is fed up of this government and the malpractices that this government orchestrates on a daily basis. We have seen the government rampant when it comes to corruption. They have used all the various tools at their disposal to hurt the Jamaican citizen, robbing the taxpayers' money, robbing the motorists, raking in billions of dollars in tax revenue, coming out on platform and making allegations that Jamaican are not being taxed with any new taxation. But the taxation that we are looking at is a corrupted tax. So the Prime Minister has always been at water. He's running a dictatorship government that needs to be dismantled. And the justice system has to stand up in a core about it, organization. It has to stand up now and said enough is enough. When you see how many times they try to get back the former DPP, Strike 5, into office, that is an indication that corruption is right there under their nose. Because that DPP has done so much to destroy the fabric of the justice system. Because that's where the final ruling lies. And she had always thrown out some cut and dried case to serve the master, Andrew Holness. So we are just calling on the justice system now to just come forth with what has transpired. If you throw the case out, let the people know that you have thrown the case out. Don't let the people still having the assumption that the Prime Minister's case is pending a review when you throw it out. So come forward, please, and address the nation. You are being paid by the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are obliged to hear what happened. And I yield back to another member of the panel.
All right, before we carry in Pastor Ricky, before we carry in this, but what's the next little thing where we notice with you, Holness? Can we talk to you directly? And we know you watch me at the TITANS this, yes. We know, and we're not big friend, yes. Straight manly heights, you know, we're not big friend. We're not big friend. Yeah, man, you know, knowledge of power. See? Right. Look how we catch on something. I know. Pastor Ricky, it echo back, You hear it? Yes. All right. See? I know, we catch him where I say megawatt. The time roll back, you know, so, yeah. We're going to repeat on it still. But yeah, what we say now, right away, megawatt as they come in. Look how we catch him now, mistake. Yeah, lied and Pastor Ricky. Look how we catch Holness now. You remember when Patrick Bailey come out and say, where name Admat? Him say, him set it up and done and St. Lucia and talk about tax. Him want we say tax. But really it now operate from St. Lucia, it operate from Jamaica. Same like how them hide things in them granny name and things them did hide. So you register the company there, but you still you have everything by in a Jamaica it buy. and do then it just by in the name of ADMAT. But him say something very important where enough people just slide over, you know. Them are idiot, you know, them chat pan themselves. Yeah, what I'm saying now. The reason why I'm set up ADMAT, if you buy the house of Beverly Hills, then instead of them transfer the land to you, them just give you everything. Now that him say,
Yeah,
you get the company.
Yeah.
With him son name, even if you don't want it. So you don't have to transfer nothing. So that's why him set up the company. So how him go and transfer things now from ADMAT to a different company. Me don't know how him wind up the whole of this. Him just transfer the whole things and just got somewhere else. And me know say them did say that ADMAT don't it have other houses?
Yeah.
Don't it have
ADMAT,
other
Yes.
houses?
yeah.
Yes.
ADMAT,
He must have sell one of them or something. So how the company never go with it?
yeah, because ADMAT he used ADMAT to purchase about 4 properties.
But him sell property out of it.
Yeah.
But if you sell property out of it, where him say, you know, when you buy a property, you get ADMAT. So how you sell property and the people then never get the ADMAT? Him have it at him transfer in 2020 and turn it into something else.
Yes.
You know, me tell us I lie them that in an original. Because if you have ADMAT, for transfer, you couldn't put the 4 property because that means you have to sell the whole 4 property when you sell. It have to tie because anybody who buy something else, according to Patrick, the liar who set it up, you get ADMAT. You don't need to transfer nothing because you get the whole ADMAT. But you couldn't buy 1 property and get ADMAT.
No.
Lie, did I go on this and them thing then? Where them get the money from to do all these things?
But
You understand?
Wayne, watch
Yes.
this. Let me say something. ADMAT, right, setting up in St. Lucia, right, is used as a disguise. What
Yeah,
Andrew
it's a
Holness,
disguise share company. 100%.
yes,
It's not doing nothing.
yes, what Andrew Holness, the reason why Andrew Holness have ADMAT set up in St. Lucia, right, was to hide the source of wealth. I want people to listen to me.
Yes. So you think it come from St. Lucia, meanwhile it there Jamaica and buy the things then also. But it registered to them down there. So it come like a day and a day. So how ADMAT build the house if you don't have a bank account? Remember I buy the house, you know. Let me just ask you again.
Yes.
The house in Beverly Hills, you hear me good. Pastor Ricky, Byron and Light. Remember the house of them buy the land and build the house.
Yes.
ADMAT do not have account. How the house bill. It not have no money, it not have account, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because them buy and them bill and them pay fee. How it bill.
Okay.
Because how we know say it not have account. The SSL money, see it run because ADMAT do not have account when them transfer it. No account at all.
All right.
So how ADMAT build that house?
Watch this way. Watch this way.
You know,
Watch this way. Let us establish the sequence of events.
yes.
The people are to know that when ADMAT set up in 2008, right? Remember, Holness did not purchase any other properties, right? As it relates to the original property that he paid for, and you see where he used a bank loan, you understand, assisting him on that original property as it relates to the house where he used to live, right? So that is okay. Now, the 4 other properties after 2008, so we are not talking about the property, you understand, prior to 2008, that one house that him and Juliet used to live in. We're not talking about that because we see where the bank payment is paying that. We are talking about the properties that he achieved after setting up ADMAT 2008. So if you look on the investigation, you will see after 2008, he started to buy up these properties. Now, remember now, the fact of the matter is that ADMAT, right, particularly where Beverly Hills is concerned, right, what we want people to understand as it relates to when the Beverly Hills properties start to build. Remember that the investigation, the Integrity Commission investigation between 2006 to 2008, right? The investigations zoom in on Andrew Holness and awarding contracts to Gavin. Those were money that being accumulated. So if FID, right, is going to investigate from that, FID now need to track, you understand, as it relates to how the transaction work, you understand, during 2008, as it relates to Gavin, right? Where does that money end up? Is any of that money end up in any account, right, that Andrew Holness have? Then now you will see the evidence that, okay, these contracts that were awarded to Gavin, you understand, was no political kickback for Andrew Holness. You understand that the money is actually going to Andrew Holness and might be a small portion keep to Gavin. Now, because let us move up now. People need to understand, okay, when did the Beverly Hills property bought? Now, in 2011, the Beverly Hills property were bought, right? Now, remember now, Andrew Holness used 4 transactions to pay for the land in Beverly Hills, right? In 2011, he never owed any more money. 4 transactions that he used, he never have any money.
Byron, no move 2011 in 4 transactions.
Yes.
Let me ask you again now.
Yes.
So, Admat without an account, we are supposed to kickback, you know, people.
Yes.
We are supposed to kickback, and some of the kickbacks, it now go in the account, them I use it and go pay cash, and I use the same Patrick Bailey, the liar, because Patrick Bailey buy enough place for people. That's why they kill the man in the house, because they cut the man money and buy it. So some of the kickback money not going in no account, it go to Patrick Bailey, I go to some other people who pay back for things.
Yes.
So in you 4 transactions,
yes,
where the money come from, we don't say kickback, but where it couldn't come from Admat, it don't have account.
No.
And it don't have no workers and nothing.
No.
But you still Admat buy the place.
Yeah.
You see where I go?
That portion of that money would have come from the illegal awarding of contracts.
Yes.
Right? Those were those portion of money. Now, let us move on to a different thing now. So when we talk about, okay, if you want to understand it properly, when it comes to illegal awarding of contracts, right, between 2006 to 2009 up there, that is where covers as it relates to illegal awarding of contract. Now, some of that money, you understand, that left over would have now been utilized, right, to purchase the Beverly Hills land in 2011, which now show indication that, okay, the money that Andrew Holness make, you understand, was actually running out, right? And so then he did not have all the full amount of cash or the total amount of cash to pay for the land in one transaction. He has to do 4 transactions in 2011. Now, this is where now the crime is now very serious. Now, remember now, people, that Andrew Holness, right, as it relates to SSL, also take out Admat in SSL, take out Admat in 2008, and also join SSL 2008. So people, you must remember that, you know. Andrew Holness take out Admat 2008, and Andrew Holness join SSL 2008. Now, remember what Patrick Bailey said. Patrick Bailey said some of the money, you understand, that goes into SSL as it relates to return on investment, right, went in terms of Andrew Holness used some of that to purchase the land. Now, let us stop right there. So then, you know, say, well, all right, remember, you know, that SSL now start to get flagged from 2012. Now, what happened now, remember, Bolt joined SSL 2012. So now just want the people to just understand the chronological sequence. 2011, the Prime Minister used 4 transactions to pay for the land, right, at Beverly Hills. So this is the Prime Minister strapped for cash. Okay, Bolt now put in money 2012. Remember, say Andrew Holness and Hugh Croskery, you understand? They do the whole project plan with SSL from 2018, people. So then when Bolt, somebody who influenced Bolt to join SSL, we need to even know that. So somebody, you understand, encouraged Bolt to put in money 2012 in SSL. So when Bolt placing money in SSL 2012, what the investigation say, can me say? The investigation say the very same year, same time when Bolt put his money into SSL, the money has been taken out.
Yes.
Remember, this is not what Mystic Sensation is saying. This is not what Titan is saying. Right? What we have in evidence, in document, you understand, as it relates to investigation report, is saying that, okay, Bolt put his money into SSL, right, 2012, right? And immediately after Bolt put his money in SSL 2012, what happened? What we have seen now that the Prime Minister, all of a sudden, let us start, people. Some man start to fall from sky. I don't know if Pastor Ricky was one of the pastors who Andrew Holness asked to pray to send some manna from the sky. But all of a sudden, in 2012, some manna start to fall from the sky. Andrew Holness get good blessing, right? After Bolt putting money in 2012. And then, in the same breath, in 2012, the very same year, while Andrew Holness start to use X amount of cash to build his house, you understand? Because Andrew Holness' big house start 2012 to 2016. It took 4 years to finish all of that. You understand? That house, as it relates to the evaluator, right? If we are to believe the evaluator, said the least cost for that house is 200 million Jamaican dollars. Now, hold on. While Andrew Holness building his house in 2012, Juliet Holness also start her project in Lee's Flat. At the time when Juliet Holness started that project in Lee's Flat, Juliet Holness started the project with roughly about $23 million at the time in 2012. Now, what happened now is that the amount of money being spent from 2012 and to Lee's Flat, that is just one of the property what Mrs. Holness owning on. Today, in value, it is now at the market value of 800 million.
She said investment. She said investment. So maybe over $1 billion in value. But she said 800 million investment now.
$800 million investment. So then, exactly. Yes. So what we have to look on, you know, the sequence of things just fall in place as it relates to Andrew Holness strapped for cash in 2011, used 4 transactions to pay for the land, right, at Beverly Hills. 4 transactions. Yes. So definitely he did not have all the cash, right, to pay one time for the land. Yes.
But the wife too, she is strapped for cash, you know, because when she buy the police flat, remember she couldn't pay 22 million, but she couldn't find the whole of the money. Exactly. So the woman said she forget when she build, she get apartment and cut some deal.
Apartment, yes.
But after them win now, all of a sudden now be money, everybody have money. I think I did strapped for cash to him.
Exactly.
The one of them get rich now.
So this is why today's court hearing, people, is extremely serious. Now the Prime Minister is going to do everything wanting to stop FID, right, to investigate, and where FID go way back to 2008. Because if FID start to investigate, and FID, of course, FID is going to go back to 2008 to Adman. Andrew Holness is going to have a serious problem, because remember what happened during between the period of 2008 up until 2021. The Integrity Commission said these statutory declarations that were submitted from the Prime Minister, right? They were not investigated. This is what the Integrity Commission investigators are saying. What the Integrity Commission investigators are saying, that they accepted the Prime Minister's statutory declaration at face value. Right? They just accepted it. There was no deep investigation into them. Now, it is because of the bangarang going on social media, right, that the 2021 statutory declaration, the Integrity Commission is saying now, okay, let us put some focus on this. To the fact that the Integrity Commission is now putting the focus on this. The lies that he told coming up from 2008 until now, they are going to have problem with those statutory declarations as it relates to FID, start to investigate. Because the situation is going to come back to the Prime Minister where the Integrity Commission leave the investigation. The FID is going to have to continue the investigation from there because where the IC leave it, as it relates to Mr. Andrew Holness, right? Can you please explain, right, the source of wealth, right, as it relates to your income, assets, and liability? The trouble that the Prime Minister is going to have, or the Prime Minister is going to explain. All right, let us use what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said that the evaluator is lying. It is not $200 million for his house. It's $53 million. People, let us use that. We are going to accept what the Prime Minister said. So let us accept the $53 million then. Even so, that the Prime Minister started to build in 2012 and have that house, right, finish in 2016. What was the Prime Minister's salary then? Let us pull back the layer, people, and look. We are going to accept, although we know that the Prime Minister is lying, they believe the evaluator. But let us accept, you know, for just for tonight's conversation, that the Prime Minister is telling the truth. The Prime Minister, you understand, have $53 million. Okay, so let us know, Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Holness, let you and Titans now go back to 2016. Let us ask, you know, so Titans start to ask you, what was your salary in 2016? Your salary, Prime Minister, right, would have been roughly about $6 million. Now, if your salary, Andrew Holness, is $6 million, how are you able to build a house that value $53 million? We don't talk about the $200 million, you know, because you claim, say, you understand, people have exaggerate, it's only $53 million. Because what the Prime Minister said that he utilized to cutting the costs, right, was to the fact that the Prime Minister was saying that he had done woodwork at school, and because of his woodwork experience, right, he never said him do stone cutting at school, you know, woodwork him do. But all of a sudden, he also, you understand, increased from just doing carpentry to also going into stone cutting, you understand, and have that experience.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is now saying that he cut some of the stone himself.
And he lay them with concrete. He lay them with cement.
Yes.
But, panel, I know Pastor Ricky want to say something, but I might just add a little bit to what Byron said, and by endorsing the rhetoric of Byron conversation. And let's double down, right? Why did Andrew Holness liar said that him get 4 transactions? And when the investigation was done, there was no trace of any transaction. That is simplifying the fact that corruption has been the whole earmark around Andrew Holness and whatever he had at the time.
Yeah,
and that is the reason why up till...
Hold on, I'm correct you on something. Right? Patrick Bailey did not speak of the as it relates to that 4 transactions. What Patrick Bailey said that the Prime Minister utilized mortgage, right, in terms of dealing with his house. But when investigation was done, there was no mortgage discovered.
Exactly.
Let me say it again, Tony, now.
So that's what I'm referring to as transaction, because mortgage is always a transaction between you and the mortgage lender.
Yes, you're right.
So let me ask it, Tony, again. So you have ADMAT.
Yes.
ADMAT I did think with them said don't get so because attacks according to either liar Patrick Bill will kill the man, them kill the man and take them things. They talk to the other man people them, you know. And them friend them how money go down and everything. So you know the ego fly. And them baby and everybody me talk to. So them take with the man things. So Patrick Bailey said about ADMAT. And what me ask again, if you have a company named ADMAT, this is ADMAT. And ADMAT them say bill from St. Lucia, bill this. But ADMAT don't have an account and don't have no money. Oh, you bill that. Oh, you not have no, you not have no money, you not have nothing down there, so shell. You not have nothing in a brother.
Yeah.
Oh, you ADMAT that means you go back to what you say by right. I can't think you go in the name of ADMAT. Then when you buy the place, you buy it in the name of ADMAT. Because ADMAT don't mean nothing then.
Exactly.
ADMAT don't mean nothing at all.
Exactly.
ADMAT has always been a holding institution to the corruption.
It's simple. Them get the money from Paul Cheng Young and Associate. And then the Ponzi scheme did that go on before SSL start. And Paul Cheng Young and Associate was part of FinSac. So it's like a domino effect from FinSac, Paul Cheng Young and Associate, Ponzi scheme will fail, then them start SSL. So, and then both money coming, like what Sir Byron said. And them just jump on that. Because as both money going, it come back out.
Definitely.
So the source of income will come from FinSac to Paul Cheng Young and Associate to SSL.
Yeah. It come from party.
And that's a very good point, Pastor Ricky, because that's where I was going to. Because both money now was the money that they would refer to as mortgage for down payment. That's when the money come in the equation. So they use that money not in one installment to just make it look like a big chunk come in, but make it look like they had, you know, nothing and they were sourcing money, you know, and bits and parts to finance the housing development in Beverly Hills.
When you do investigation on a financial scale, you have to follow the money. And,
Exactly.
And so FinSac from in the 80s with the late Prime Minister.
No, Party Union Associate, because I don't call FinSac. So Party Union Associate, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so when him set up ADMAT, in former lawyer set up ADMAT in a St. Lucia, it was just a holding company. And we don't know what bank accounts, offshore bank account, was associated to that holding company.
But they never have none.
They have none on record, but there must have been some kind of
other account door. Them have other account.
Some
What we use and grab him door, Vicky.
And that's
why what we use and grab him, brother. If you don't have account for this, but to buy something or something that brother. If you set up an account, you set up a company and you don't even have a bank account. But it's so rich. Nothing. Remember, you know, SSL have money feet. Them the 144,000 US, 21 million. You know, see, say we don't have account. That people selling this. So these are the things show you say here criminality.
Yeah, every business have a business account, you know.
That is it.
Right. So there's some offshore bank account that was not in Jamaica, that was set up for wire transfer money. Because with ADMAT buy for property.
No, but let me tell you. Let me explain again to you, Vicky. No, let me explain to you. All right. So you have some man, as I tell you before, I remember, you know, Patrick Bailey himself in the laundry. When I ask him, I tell him. We know him buy a lot of places and them thing there too. Yeah? We know him go in a Brooklyn and then collect money and then buy houses at Jamaica and them thing. When I ask him, I tell him. I tell him that. Then the IRC house when buy. You understand? Tell me, I not ask him, you know. Tell me, I tell him. See, go for the money. Him over there, we must stay with him half. Yeah? He must stay in the gentleman over there and him go pick up money and him go buy a house. So me can't tell him this. Him smuggling money. Patrick Bailey. You notice me now I said if I'm but me I tell him smuggle money. And because liar, you know, them have the liar thing, the privilege. Same thing him do with Junior. Him buy up Junior thing, the one with them kill, and I call the man Gully. So him do these things all the time. So him definitely them for go for Patrick Bailey. You notice them protect him. Now, you have some man when them buy things, them are hustle, and them do it in Jamaica. When you look at them mother when they never work yet, or them granny value 200 million, brother. She coming like a holding company. She don't know about it, you know. You buy it in her name. She not have an account or nothing, you know. And the same thing with the shell company. So what you do now, you make a granny will the property to you because you know your granny are 90 or 80 and soon dead and nearly 100. And you make sure will it with your name and go and show go to sign a thing and make a X if she make a X. And your property, you know. Alright, let me show you the next thing. When you see the vehicle licked on the police the other day and kill her son, mash up the vehicle. You see that guy there?
Mm-hmm.
And him won the vehicle, you know, but it's not his father name. Because one of them man there, one of them kind of like a man there thing, and him own the vehicle. And him have the money, but him father do business and him father thing and a theme thing, but everything by him father name. It show off thing and make them do the thing. Same thing they do with Finsack. You understand? They have the kickback money, because they have enough kickback money like what Byron say, you know. Because they have their money there too, and then them come thief more, have just pay a criminal money. By the way, them to do some contract in a St. James, not in a film constituency. And we have that too, you know, we see it, you know. That's why the first time when them say, don't ramp with Zion when they let him go, them should have charged him. Because them see the word, at least them should have charged him for, you know. Under the first lightning strike again, like it strike with Paul Chin Young, under the first. When come and I said, don't you trouble Zion. Like him I said, yes, because it take too long, due process again. And you know, so it take too long, so you not charge him. You see things for charge him, and you make him come back and do the same thing. Him can't be the prime minister about
that. When them set up as Martin name, they were ineligible. They were way underage, and so that was illegal. And them never paid taxes in St. So St. Lucian government changed the law, so it forced them to dissolve it in 2021. And then him turn it over and convert it to Imperium. But the truth is, money laundering did not go on from way back then.
Yes.
When money laundering to be effective, it have to go through 3 phases. Placement, which them place money in the bank accounts, and then when them transfer to shell companies
and then integration
accounts, and then so them wash the dirty money doing that
integration.
And then integration when them now start buildings and real estate and lands and car dealership and all them luxury things that them up. So from them time that them are in a money laundering, and not just the IC report I could know say them in a money laundering.
We know. But what we are saying with him now, you know, really we want it because that part of money laundering. So what you do, you lock down one thing. You could have it at Jamaica, say it there Jamaica see when you register. Come on by now. Green Company, Grace Kennedy. It there about, you know, it then I can't there about Sanders. Them change. Don't they na Barbados and Antigua and St. Lucia? Them change. So you could have the company and move company, they know. This is when them are criminal enterprise around. You come and transfer the thing. This name washing, brother.
Yeah, washing.
Because the holding company now do not know holding. You know you have something that hold something for you. You put up there, sir, and it value much money holding firm. Holding. Eh? No, do not, it now no workforce, it now, you know. A matter of fact, none of them company now have no workforce, them now have no PS stub.
Them now have no staff. But guess what? The Integrity Commission mess up big time. Because if you're gonna follow the money, you can't start at 2021. You have to go further back.
No.
Because
Mona said them, so remember now something to trigger them off, you know. All you need to do is just file your statutory declaration, right, and everything. But when you file it, trigger them off. So them have to start from with them there and then them wheel back. So them say with the 1960, you have a car and you have a piece of place, them are go down there. So them work from here and work back here. And it'll be that's why I must stop the feed. Because them said what them say, all right, what them say, correct me now, Byron. Come here, I'm gonna show you, come read the thing. Them say what them see, them not have them not have the manpower, and that mean enough thing them see. So them have to call to the FID and then them call to the tax office. They say, listen, go deal with them, you know. And FID, who not have the resources. Because them never say something big, them want to call them, you know.
But also, FID is a conglomerate, a part of Edman, is a big international body of.
That's why they want them. So, but that's why
all them have to do is I get help from Edmond International Group.
No, you have to start from Jamaica. All right, no. So what you do? No, because remember them and them about
Yeah, you have to start it from Jamaica.
understanding. So yes. So them have to start at Jamaica. This. So but when you touch the FID though, and you deal with US and anything, what you do know it trigger off a lot of things. That's why them not want them. That's why them say no, no touch it. Because them know say you're gonna dig up, you're gonna know things everywhere.
Yeah.
US get involved. That's why they must say quote. Because them think we're idiot. I'm afraid they get afraid because the FID are not good to touch it.
Them dig him one pit and I fall in it and them don't even realize it, man. Because all them do are someone's documents so him never want it to the Integrity Commission and boom.
Yeah, but no.
And in a Jamaica, them have a law that need to be taken off the book. This law that give them an option to use a time frame to justify a criminal offense.
Yes.
That should never be on the book, you know. You have man who commit an offense 30, 40 years and still face the judicial system, found guilty and put away. So when Andrew Holness commit the crime and he got let off lightly and have this big hullabaloo at the airport greeting him coming back from overseas and singing Don't You Trouble Zion. That was something that should have never been allowed to happen.
Yeah.
But when we have people that should be serving the country and serving the country well, based on the fact that they are being paid by the taxpayer of the country,
Yeah.
and practice all these type of shenanigans to solidify people that are facing corruption, they should also be brought to bear in front of the justice system.
Well,
I don't care who it want to be. Whether it was the DPP or the acting DPP, they have to face crime time because they aided and abetted Andrew Holness, and that give Andrew Holness time to orchestrate many more devastating corruption in Jamaica as it relates to taxpayers' money. And this is why Jamaica is in the critical state as its economy is vulnerable. It's like a piece of string. The country is not far from being into bankrupt at this moment as we speak. But because we do have a finance minister that is transparent to come out and state categorically the demise of the country as it relates to going into bankruptcy. Because Andrew Holness is the main destroyer of Jamaica economy. The wealth, he has taken it practically for himself. And him share some with them cronies them. And this has been something that people around them knew about from the inception when it started. So Andrew Holness has been a criminal at large roaming the street of Jamaica for a mighty long time. And it's time him face the justice system and get what's duly rewarded to him. He need to get him time behind bars. He worked for it and him should embrace it. Him shouldn't be running away from it and trying to find ways and means to get out of it. Because this is something that is never been seen in Jamaica until now.
Yeah.
We have never had a prime minister in Jamaica that has find themselves into these treacherous hot water as it relates to they having to be investigated by the Integrity Commission, and Integrity Commission filing a motion against their statutory declaration. So Andrew Holness has serious implication waiting for him down the line. And it's not far off. Because if he think that he can use the resource people that he has around him now that he himself assembled to protect him, Time is coming very soon when that shambolic assemblement that he assembled around him, these corrupted people, them won't be there to protect him. The new administration will have its say. And I know I can, rest assured that we have some brilliant people serving in the People's National Party that is there to preside over the real justice of the country, not hanky-panky justice, where you say a man now have to face time because time elapsed. Oh, you can never use that as a method to let go this man that commit such great criminal atrocity in the country. The man has destroyed the 2.8 million people life in the country. He has plunged their life into a precipice. That's why we see people now cannot buy a Colgate toothpaste or a Palmolive toothpaste or whatever brand it may be. Them can't buy a loaf of bread anymore, not even cheap bread. Them have to buy a slice and squeeze a toothpaste. That's why you see back road full with so many young people. Because the hierarchies them who rob the money, them can't do nothing with all these truckload of money with them steal, Them have to have this weird type of lifestyle. So what them do, them create a Saddam in our country. You understand? So the narrative has to be that people need to be held accountable for whatever criminal atrocity that they have wreaked upon the society in Jamaica. So we can't they're around here as titans and leave these people to roam as if, there is no tomorrow. There will be a tomorrow, and the tomorrow is not far.
Yeah.
It's months away. That's the day of reckoning when Jamaica will be transformed into a more acceptable society, not just locally, but internationally. And I yield back to a member of the panel.
1 second. We deal with white collar crime, and Jamaica don't have a type of version of the US, the RICO law, where the feds used to bring down the mafia and all of the crime family and the Gambino family them. And that them use and get Al Capone. The tax evasion, white collar crime. And Jamaica need a RICO law down there for bust white collar crime and all of them criminality, because what we're seeing in Jamaica right now, there's no precedence that was set. We have never experienced a government that's implicated with so many cronies in it who are criminal. And so them not gonna get to it. So I don't feel like them the one of them are go prison and you might go bring down whole heap of them with him. Them feel like them above the law and them untouchable. So was everybody get busted throughout the world. The former premier of the Virgin Islands just pick up 11.5 years for drug trafficking and money laundering. A tycoon woman in the Taiwan, 19 of your people them get busted and go down. Even in America, we see Trump. What if a few people them and farmer first run as president go prison? So it's a pattern when them go after the top. What if people always get implicated in it? So don't feel like them get it. None of them not get it. Trust me.
Pastor Ricky lied and lonesome. We have lied, spoke on some issues earlier, which I fully agreed with lied, and also Pastor Ricky endorsing the situation as it relates to the justice system. But let me say this, Pastor Ricky. It is not like Jamaica has not have the appropriate law structure to deal with corruption. They do. Now, and that is
Continue.
Yes, that is one of the reasons why you have the Corruption Act, Section 14, subsection 5. So when you look on the Corruption Act, Section 14, subsection 5, speaking to illicit enrichment, and define what is illicit enrichment. That if you attain, right, any form of wealth outside of what your income, assets, and liability can explain, right, then it is an issue, and they make that, right, as an offense. However, the problem that we have in Jamaica is we look at our criminal justice system, and you have mentioned the RICO law, right? But remember that the RICO law work effectively because you have a solid criminal justice system in the United States, and that is how the RICO law work. Now, let us look at the Corruption Act. The Corruption Act, right, is very effective. However, the difference between we and the United States is our criminal justice system, right? Portion of that is corrupted, and let me explain it. When you look at the criminal justice system, you look at the 3 branches of the criminal justice system, which one is investigation, because for a crime to process, right, it starts with investigation, right? Then the prosecutorial arm and the judiciary that is going to decide the case. However, what happened with Jamaica, where you have this particular government, was able and still able to corrupt a portion of the criminal justice system as it relates to 2 of the branches, which is the investigation and the prosecutorial. Now you have seen where the head of the police, right, the commissioner of police, right, you have Fitz Bailey under that. You understand how they deal with investigation, who align with the Jamaica Labour Party, right? So guess what? You're not going to have any investigation done that is going to show transparency where this administration is concerned.
Now, I'm sorry, you have to go back to Chang. Chang at the head of everything. So you have to include Chang too.
Well, I mean,
investigate.
I did not include Chang because
I'm a politician. Yes.
So let us speak as it relates to the investigators. Remember that we're talking about investigation. Yeah. So Chang is not a part of the investigation.
No.
Right. So where you have the investigators, right, not investigating properly and appropriately, right, to have the case, you understand, work together with the prosecution, because the prosecution and the investigators are to work together to have a successful prosecution. So when you have the investigators who are corrupted, you can see that, okay, Patrick Bailey has not been arrested, right? Because Patrick Bailey, you understand, was once Andrew Holness' lawyer and still affiliated with Andrew Holness, right? So then, guess what? Patrick Bailey is what we call 007, right? He has the license to kill. Now, watch this. Not only that.
Sorry, people, you know, in a Titans thing, Patrick Bailey at 002. 007, 002. Yes. Got you.
Let me correct that. Because the Titan boss want me correct that.
Yes, yes.
Right. So Patrick Bailey is 002.
Yeah, man.
Boy, the wheels swim deep. Right? So Patrick Bailey.
Submerged.
Yeah, Patrick Bailey is 002. So guess what? You can see where the investigation arm of the criminal justice system affected. Number one, you ask the question, why even today Patrick Bailey has not been interrogated or arrested and charged? Well, for the obvious reason, because of the corruption. Obviously, you have a man who died in his house. There was no open, no breach, you understand, for persons to leave from outside to get inside of the house. No sign of tampering. But yet, Patrick Bailey knife was used, you understand, to inflict about 21 stab wounds. Right? And you understand, gunshot wound. And Patrick Bailey, today as we speak, you understand, as he said, his back is broad like sharp shutter, 002 cannot be taken. Now, let us look at the first thing now, where you have the contractor general at the time when they were investigating Andrew Holness with Gavin Brown, with Gavin. You understand, as it relates to 2006 to 2009, right? Because of the years progress and the Integrity Commission investigators, you understand, who were the contractor general, who was very carefully scrutinizing the case. You understand, when they handed over the case, right, you can see where the corruption prosecutor now said it was what? Abuse of process. And so then Andrew Holness walked as a result of abuse of process. Now go back. Now you can see where the National Water Commission president, you understand, who also had corrupted himself, and what the DPP said. The DPP said, okay, there's a clear case here. You understand, that he is culpable. However, what happened to this case, because he should have been charged into a given time, which Paula Llewellyn know that, you know. If Paula Llewellyn knows, say, all right, the person supposed to charge within a year. Why Paula Llewellyn never worked with the investigators, you understand, to in terms of meeting the deadline? She never did that. She waited until that time exceeded, and then she came on and said, okay, you know, all right, we cannot charge the National Water Commission president because of statute of limitation. So then you see clearly, we are now.
So she sent him back to the KSAC, them, and yesterday everything ever come back to she.
Yes.
I said foolishness.
Pure foolishness.
Merry-go-round, man. Merry-go-round.
Right. So what's this now? As the situation now evolved with SSL, I am only showing the clear corruption of the DPP and the investigators, because they don't want to put the case in the judiciary. If they put the case in the judiciary, people are going to be found guilty. And that is one of the reasons why Andrew Holness is now fighting, because the judiciary is really serious. You understand, the judiciary is not corrupted as it relates to the investigation arm or the prosecutorial arm. So the judiciary is sort of independent from the corruption. So I want people to understand, you know. You understand? Mystic sensation are Titan at known times eating the judiciary. We are defending the judiciary. You understand? Because the jurisprudence is solid. All right? So let me just get that out of the way. Now, the next case, you can see where SSL now becomes right in front of our eyes again. And we are crawl, because many people don't know this, and I keep on covering this time and time. I keep on repeating it. We are crawl had completed their investigation. As a matter of fact, Crawl along with FID had completed their investigation. And guess what? Both of them recommend charges, complete investigation, and send it to the DPP. And guess what? Today, the DPP sits on it. What the DPP has been doing now is utilizing delay tactics in telling FID that they need to bring in more so-called evidence. Now, let me ask Paula Llewellyn something. I am going to ask Paula Llewellyn something. The government, right, decided, the members of parliament, the government decided that, look, Nigel Clarke particularly decided that, okay, the scope of the investigation as it relates to SSL is too large of a case for FID alone to deal with it. And so then what it needs expert, forensic expert. Remember that Paula Llewellyn is not a forensic expert. You know? Paula Llewellyn, let me repeat that. And that is one of the reasons why I played a clip with Paula Llewellyn at a seminar where Paula Llewellyn is saying that when it comes to financial cases, that is not her cup of tea. Remember, this is what Paula Llewellyn is saying. When it comes to financial cases, it's not my cup of tea. Give me the run of the mill with the criminal charges and so forth. She loved it. That is what she said. But watch this now. Look at the hypocrisy. FID and crawl and complete the investigation. The forensic expert who have a wide knowledge, right, as it relates to financial matters. That's why they got them, right, and they pay millions of dollars for them to come in. So they completed the report, right, from God knows when, right, and recommend charges. Paula Llewellyn, right, and the current DPP sits on that information and now asking FID to come with more evidence. So let me ask Paula Llewellyn. Then Paula Llewellyn, if you are not the expert on financial crime, and the expert came and investigated, and the expert complete the report and send it to you, how can you now be telling the expert that you need more evidence? That don't make no sense.
That's why we have to lock her up and charge her. She aid and abet all these criminality. This is the reason why she has to be brought to justice. Because what she has done, she has corrupted the case to suit the suitors.
Because
you understand?
Like, look at it.
But Byron, 1 second, Byron, remember Section 93 of the Constitution gives her powers, you know, to stop any prosecution or start any process. So how do we know she have not quietly under the cover stopped these prosecution, but it was never published?
Well, hear this, Pastor Ricky. You have quoted the section that gave Paula Llewellyn, or let us say the DPP, right, ultimate power, where she can start an investigation and she can stop an investigation. Yes, constitutionally, you're correct. It's right with that. But again, even so, right, we would want to know that, okay, all right, if you are going to stop this investigation, the question that critical thinkers are going to ask you, on what basis or what grounds are you stopping this investigation on? So then she needs to state clearly, right, that, okay, I am not going to proceed on this investigation as a result.
She can't do that. Byron, she can't do that. We are pressure. We are the Titans. Right. So we come out of history, you know. We not ramp it down either, you know. No. And the thing, but we know why you mix better. And the next thing, I mix this. So you have Catch's Bully. Remember just call it by your right name. Catch's Bully. Me know Byron, they call it by your pet name. Okay. Yeah. Fix really. But Catch's Bully. You know. You say you're a lock up people. People are going to get charged from last year. For the coke. Put them up a coke port. Up at the. And I know. Him know, yes, him just across something. Him and she don't get so. You notice him gone and I know them not cross nothing. Yes. You notice Nigel gone and I know we not hear certain thing with them say.
Exactly.
And by the way, you notice my fire Dan Webby?
Yes.
My fire. Because you see, we have to make sure, but boy can't grace same way. It not change up in a grace. Because Dan Webby don't tell them each up there with, you know, pestilence. You know? Yes. You might each up there with pest and everything and, you know, do Jamaica bad. But for boy can't grace and NCB. But if we start from them two, when we start cut down the thing, and a joke I make, it's serious. So him now in pants pocket them start touch. And who not grace? Because we have people right on the grace side of them, you know. So here this Byron, then call me, you know, and them say to me, it's for you got to talk about and we be listening. Them not like this, you know. Look at him now, go up and leave now, boom bam. But me look, him take the leave. Now me hear him this morning, here ya. Don't move, here. Well, I'm just play it up.
Jamaica's national challenges. Meanwhile,
yes.
Government Senator Don Webby resigns from the upper house, creating a second vacancy. So
he resigned with immediate effect.
All right.
Grace Kennedy not like when them name are called up in or something. And then First Global after them, right?
Yes.
Yes. With First Global.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So all that look. Grace Kennedy, tell me how that look.
I remember First Global did a whole amp of information where the Integrity Commission did ask of them, you know.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? But going back to the DPP,
Yes.
why would the DPP stop a case that the country has invested in as it relates to SSL saga and we getting people from London, yeah, to come in and work alongside FID?
No, but
Yeah,
no, we not.
but
What we say, we are tell her from now. Make we get the one and again now. We not say why she can't stop nothing. Make we see boy.
yeah,
No,
but what we,
so
yeah,
we
but
not
what we want,
she can't stop it. Make we just tell her. Are we serious? We not.
yes, but just to use the narrative as
No,
it relates to how she is proceeding.
Yeah.
Just to use the narrative as how she is proceeding. Yeah. The country has invested heavily,
So
millions of dollars
Not true.
for the investigation arm as it relates to the forensic team, the expert team. Yeah. And they have given her clear indication that people is to be charged.
Better.
And she refused from charging the people.
Well, I know better. No follow. You see Nigel Clarke, piece of shit.
Exactly.
So when him do under the first, him do it with McCracken. When him say no, when him say federal people there, me no follow nothing where him say what time out, brother. Then me prepare the thing and it there and them say, hey, no push it out yet. Them I get the other, you know. Them same man call them a germs.
Yes.
Don't be fool. So this are the government where you know say it's a criminal government. Everything where them do a criminal, no pass, nothing make nothing pass you. Because remember, you know, this are the same like Nigel Clarke. Remember me, I tell you this. Him come out and go like him never know. So the Prime Minister shut down his bank account 2021. When him say him
Right.
me never hear. Him lie.
Lie.
But when McCracken come out and him say them now have no fed. Him come out and him push him man under the bus. Say the man no know
Yes.
so remember them are liars. So when him say, oh, it down there with that, you think me I run with that? You notice me I run with it? You notice you have something when me don't run with? Because them get it hard and say, yo, that's why them did have strike 5, you know. Yeah, make sure not push it. Just sit down. If nobody not talk about it, no make one. So when him do know, him come and him just say something. Remember McCracken a police, you know. See that guy. I want him McCracken. You remember when the CTAC guy come out and say,
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, man.
They didn't have nobody. Them did have any feds with you? No.
No, them never have any.
So who did I tell the truth?
McCracken did I tell the truth. Nigel Clarke I tell P a lie.
That's why we not follow them. No make them tell about no DPP. Them me no want to tell them faith off today, you know, because the Titan head chip when we hey. Them for go away, you know. Them are shit. Yeah? Them can't trick around here, you know. So that's why I say, Titan, listen. If I see me not run it down, you know, because I hear it, you know. Oh, him girl and she sit down on it. I say, sit down on you think we are idiot. Remember Nigel this talk, you know. Remember, he never have the letter neither, you know, brother.
Yes.
He never have the letter and when them pray, oh, I'm going to find it in the little cabinet.
Yeah.
Secretary work with him to lie.
Exactly.
Him dangerous. When you know a guy dangerous, and him say no stone and turn. Any stone turn over, brother.
Not one in the
No, sir. Not even a grain of sand him no lift up.
And then him lift up and gone. So anything
Yeah.
come out of their mouth, me not take it with like that. Me take it with like a ocean of salt, brother. Not a spoon of salt, but a ocean of salt. Not out of Nigel mouth or Andrew mouth. You remember you can't take it and put on, you know.
But
Them
But Nigel Clarke, me Exodus Jamaica, you know, but we want Nigel Clarke, or Nigel, me call him, you know. Me not call him Nigel. Nigel Clarke, just know this, we are extradite you back to Jamaica.
Yes.
But Wayne, I don't Nigel
Yes.
Clarke
Come
alone.
on, feds, you don't need to send him back.
Yeah, I know Nigel Clarke alone lift up, you know. Remember you cross carry lift up too.
You live for you see what them do? And I know you don't say something, but Curtis Bully not charge him. Him come out of the paper and say, hey, I'm right here, nobody talk to me.
Exactly.
So me tell you, so me now have noticed to woman and say, listen, me now have show her face, she can't move them money there. She could have moved them money there, brother. No.
No way. No way, shape or form, she can't move them there.
Look how them want to take for people feed that now. Because here some people don't know, because you know you have some people that blogging. We the human rights activists work for us. Them do them blogging and them know. She will go to prison, I said, look how you know, see, I trap them, I said. And that,
Yeah.
of course, we them set the trap, man.
But Wayne, let me say something. When Kroll completed that report,
Yeah.
they would have recognized that the hierarchy of SSL, the hierarchy, right? How many persons involved in the hierarchy?
Yes.
Right? Charges would have been recommended
Yes.
for those persons to be charged. And let me say why. Now, remember that FSC had done a field inspection on SSL in terms of an audit.
Mm.
That was done 2016. When the audit was carried out in 2016, one of the primary things that FSC flagged SSL for was misappropriation of client funds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, the next thing is that SSL appropriation account, right, stated one thing while the bank appropriation account is stating another thing, right? They were given certain time to have those situations corrected. Now, you tell me now, because guess what? I am one of the persons who investigate, right, as it relates to when we are doing inventory, annually and so forth. And I work with some of the biggest companies in the world, right? And so then when we are doing our inventory, right, and, you know, we audit and go through, right, whatever variances, we are able to track those variances. But they are going to just put those variances, right, as it relates to theft, right? Or you are going to track those variances. Might be you find them into a truck report, right? That okay, this place was supposed to be delivered for simple understanding, right? Said 10 wheels. However, this 10 wheels was not distributed to X. It distributed to V. So then you're just going to do your report and have V do the correction, you understand, in terms of balancing that book. Now, the big thing that I am asking you, Cross-Carry, if you are hearing me, which you know, you Cross-Carry, that the time that you have flagged from 2016 for those items that you need to have corrected, why your internal audit system missed those until 2021. You can't tell me that your internal, look here, me this year deal with. If you go on LinkedIn, and you search for Byron Horton, right, and they are telling you in terms of the project that I had done, they will tell you that guess what, I am sharp like a razor. Go on LinkedIn and find it.
Let me ask you a question. Don't they file general ledger annually?
Exactly.
Right.
So you tell me, Cross-Carry, you have a right to run. You know why you run? Your internal audit system, there is no way they could miss as it relates to even Bolt. Money being missing from 2012 and SSL internal audit system doesn't flag that, because you know why it doesn't flag that? Because Nigel Clarke involved in it,
Yes.
and Holness involved in it,
Yeah.
the government involved in it,
Yeah.
and SSL was simpler Ponzi scheme that they were running to run the election.
Let me run with that piece of now, Byron. So, then from 2012, you know what make it wicked? I know the government nasty and stinking of themselves. Say, Byron, a year money. I lied, I Ricky, a year 12.8 million US. And when you look, Andrew and the nasty government, I make sure SSL, because them apartheid, can we see him a collect. And them give statement say you have 12.8 million straight.
Let's look at that.
But that the evilest piece of nastiness them. Them are
And
giving
that
everything good.
alone some just a pause a second. And that is why we have to endorse the word panty scheme.
Yes.
That them are run.
Yes,
It's a
it has been
question.
the hardest. So
That them are run.
Remember, you know, that means everything audit. Get audited. Because every year, every month, everything you them not when the girl go tell him, you know, she make him know say, yo, them I use the money, you know. But yes, still shall do it off article line at $12,000 them have left night or 12 points at US, you know. And them 12 points at leave 12,000.
Them chop some zero, man.
You know, pound where them are give him. And give him that for sure, so them know. And let me tell you the next thing again, Jamaica and the world. Can you imagine ever prime minister? And me go put this, me go say it out loud to you, your evil angel. You have both. Him have the record, world record. Knowing in every country will come enter and them watch this, right? Leave the flag up high. We not do that. Ever never politics not for one of their back road. Not for one. Because we have no skill, no trade, nothing. When I do some patakia, no for uno couldn't survive. Can't live in the wilderness and survive. Uno, right? Because woodwork can't make you go lay stone. So I don't know. Woodwork. Big mama them work, so I don't know. Can't make you lay stone. Alright. So uno survive, no for uno. Yes. We just tell them as is. You know? But as a prime minister, Byron, and the finance minister, as a government, and you have the thing the minister, what's your name? Cougar.
You mean the Minister of Culture and Sports?
And none of them not come out and say, I get mad. Eat the money, hungry, no. You know what? So them just quiet. Them never come and talk on behalf as a government. Honest. Silent. You seem silent, so you know what's up. I know, brother. He never come and say one word about the money.
Exactly.
You say anything?
Wait, look here again. Hold on. Let me give you something clear again. Watch this. In 2008, Andrew Holness joined SSL. Now, based on the Integrity Commission investigation, right? And based on field investigation, if you are putting the focus on Andrew Holness, then the question in terms of me as an investigator, right, would want to find out how much money Andrew Holness put in SSL in 2008. That is very, very important. Hear why that is important. And let me just make Andrew Holness hear this. We know that you got money out of SSL 2011. We know that you got money out of SSL 2021. We know, based on the Integrity Commission investigation, we have seen where SSL, right, had sent $143,000 to NCB, right, to an account that you take out with $0. $0. So again, hold on. A different level of corruption, this, you know.
Of course.
Because the bank have to speak in clarity of that. Different level of corruption. Now, my question to the Prime Minister, right, that if it's a situation that FID is going to investigate and realize that the Prime Minister did not have, where the Prime Minister said 300,000 from out of NCB, and you see where the Prime Minister put that in SSL in 2008, and there is no entry coming from nowhere to put in SSL, right, for money to put in SSL, then it's a different kettle of fish. So let me ask the question. You understand it before Finn asks you it. You have to now tell me if you're an ordinary profile account holder or you are a shareholder of SSL. Now, because if you're a shareholder of SSL, now we can understand why you're getting money out of SSL. You understand? And then, this is serious situation.
Byron, yes. Don't move. Because it is up to now, the ordinary owner but lose so much money, including both to have so much money. Them don't even go and say, right, you have the most money what we see in a bulk, right? So let me give you the 143,000 out of your money, I don't know nothing this. And the Prime Minister get that. But both not get a cent. The rest of people, them not get a cent of billions, guy, and better. Them say them not money to pay them right now. But the Prime Minister get money. It name in Australia. Is that next crime that I get in better? It's a next crime.
What's this? Wayne, what's this? Because I saw my brother Lachlan, and I like to always interact with Lachlan. Lachlan said if an investment company is doing well, no one will close account. So clearly, there is insider trading going on with the firm. All right, hold on. But Lachlan, you're the problem with me have with that. You're the problem with me have with that. And that's why I know it's a serious predicament is here. Now, there is no sign, no evidence whatsoever that SSL was doing any investment. No sign whatsoever that SSL itself was participating
in investment.
In any investment. So then, my question to the Prime Minister again, that based on the evidence, and Moya answer me, based on the evidence that SSL is not doing any investment, any at all, but they were stealing client money, stealing. So Moya, you put this, right, and put this in terms of your calculation. SSL1 wasn't doing any investment. So the question that we are asking, if SSL wasn't doing any investment, how the Prime Minister would have gotten return on his investment?
And where did the money come from? Inflow of cash into SSL. Where it come from?
So here you go, Pastor Ricky. If SSL wasn't doing any investment, because remember, I know SSL carry what we call a wealth advisor. And the wealth advisor responsibility in terms of people, doing trading and certain things like, buying shares and so forth. The wealth advisor will advise you, right? And so then I am Lachlan said if they were not investing, then the owners should be charged with financial crimes. And here I am going Lachlan, because indeed they weren't investing. And so then we are asking Andrew Holness, how the heck you get return on investment when SSL is not investing? What SSL had done, let me remind people what SSL had done. The very same thing that FinSoc had done in the 1990s. It's the very same thing SSL had done as it relates to SSL being Paul Cheng Young and Associate Company that camouflage itself and rename it into SSL. So remember now, the same pattern of behavior, but cross-carry carried off in FinSoc. What happened in FinSoc? Let me remind you what happened in FinSoc. In FinSoc, they were not investing the client's money. They stole the client's money and buy up properties in Florida. Now, what happened? We have seen the very similar behavior with SSL, right? Where the investors' money missing. Over $4 billion missing. And we have seen where Andrew Holness, let me say it out loud. Andrew Holness is buying up some properties after 2016. Buying up properties. We have seen that. We have seen where Juliet Holness investment at least flat. An investment that no value at market value, $800 million.
And that is only one. There were two other more at the same time running simultaneously.
So when people are talking about, okay, Byron, I think it's Juliet Holness' brother and drugs and certain
No. Let's correct them though. Byron. Yes. Juliet Holness' brother We don't know him about drugs. I think every time what me read about, him have the same name, but funny, I think I'm about some cousin or something, not our brother.
Yes.
So if you know to stop talking, our brother, it's not our brother.
Exactly. So
Yes.
what we are looking on here, we are looking on the very reason why Nigel Clarke has to cover this. The very reason why when Carl completed the report and recommend charges, you cannot hear who were recommended to be charged. Because the persons who would be recommended to be charged would be the hierarchy of SSL.
And government members.
And okay.
Don't move again, don't move. The reason why Nigel Clarke let go they think that the other day, FinSac, and then black out a lot of names. Say I got over $400 million million dollar plus 22 million US plus other things going up. The whole of them in a share the fault on him loan, take people money and everything, but the whole of them run and then people that think so, oh
yes.
Are the finance minister and the PMP doing nothing? This come from the 80s, from 1981. Can we have the report or me I look from 81 come out with them do. The same set of people them come now and do SSL now. That one yeah. Same guy come and do SSL and come pull off a next ice again. License strike 2 times.
Exactly.
Then, and with the same set of people them involved in this. So what them do things it's like the PMP over there so just keep cool. So them fling it off and push something to the PMP and make what them call it a scandal.
Yes.
Scandal. Yeah.
It's not a scandal, nothing else. It's
That's why when
scandal.
it comes on Titan.
Use brain.
Yeah, when I come on Titan and you're talking about FinSac, Titan is going to correct you. And this is how Titan is going to correct you. When you're talking about FinSac, you have to be careful with the conversation because here, we want you to start the conversation. We want to start the conversation with the 1995 financial meltdown.
Yes.
So when you start the conversation with the 1995 financial meltdown, we are going to tell you now, as a result of that 1995 financial meltdown, let us look at some of the things that caused the 1995 financial meltdown. Now, the 1995 financial meltdown has nothing to do with FinSac. Right? People need to understand that. It is not like FinSac. It is not like FinSac. You understand? As an entity, was giving out loans and setting high interest rate. Nothing like that.
Nothing. Yes.
Nothing like that. What people need to understand is because of certain behavior, and they were going against certain guidelines against banking regulations, right? Lending out money to their friends. You understand?
Don't pay
without any form of security, right? So they were actually taking the bank money. They were stealing the merchants' money. To understand, for you understand, for clarity, stealing the merchant money. You understand, and give it to their friends, give it to their family. Who involved in that was Dan Crawford. Also had given Edward Siaga $31 million. It comes down that Adil Shah, you understand, borrow a whole piece pot of money, you understand, and then now what happened is that because of these behaviors, right, it comes under a financial, it comes under a crisis, you understand, where you have the financial meltdown, right, because the billions of dollars that were taken and give unsecured loan. Now, where you see similarity of that with Andrew Holness. Now, when you come back into the Integrity Commission investigation, you see definitely where Andrew Holness now got a loan from Barita, unsecured loan of what? 50 million or 5 million.
What take the loan for though?
All right. So this goes to show you that the corruption that they had done in the 1995 financial meltdown is the same execution that Andrew Holness utilized. And not only that, Andrew Holness is running with the same set of people like you, Croskery, who committed the first assault in 1995. So when you look at that, you see the syndicate of people who try to protect, which is Nigel Clarke. But what people need to understand that before Nigel Clarke becomes the finance minister, remember that Nigel Clarke used to be a director in Positive Jamaica. That is Andrew Holness, again, shell company.
Yes,
where Nigel Clarke was a director. So then Nigel Clarke understand the series of corruption where it comes to Nigel Clarke. Not only that, Nigel Clarke also have a charity company. You understand, where questionable issues going on with Nigel Clarke charity company, where you can see that when it comes to Nigel Clarke, where the eve of election, but with the eve of election in 2018, remember that Nigel Clarke came in 2018, right?
Yes,
Yes, the bar graph is showing you that there were some strong finances into his charity company in 2018 for that election there. And again, it shows you again another strong, you understand, set of money going into Nigel Clarke charity as it relates to 2020. You understand, again, not only that, investigation done as it relates to the reason what Nigel Clarke had given, you understand, to utilize the charity. And when people went into Nigel Clarke constituency and questioned the relevant people as it relates to what Nigel Clarke said, it is contrary. The people them don't know nothing about
nothing. Panty scheme, another panty scheme again.
Panty scheme.
But Byron, and Pastor Ricky, just to double down, and the whole scenario, as it relates to the financial meltdown from 1995.
Yes.
We have seen where these people, so-called investors, given strict line by Bank of Jamaica, but they have violated the terms and conditions of their operating license.
Yes.
And when you take into consideration that the Minister of Finance has implication in all of these, we are seeing where Nigel Clarke is in serious trouble.
Of course. Of course.
And this is one of the reasons why he's trying to exit us. You understand? Look, he knows he's in serious trouble because what has happened is that the umbrella that the farm over them head, a high gush of wind has come and damaged that umbrella.
Yes.
And so there's no more protection as it relates to what is happening now.
Let us point out this to them. When you hear Andrew Holness talking about Nigel Clarke, it is a great benefit in terms of Nigel Clarke going to the IMF. It's bullcrap. People, let me give you a research homework for you to do. Omar Davis, when Omar Davis was the Minister of Finance, Omar Davis was also given that opportunity to go to the IMF. Omar Davis was given that opportunity and Omar Davis turned it down. Now, at the time, was Omar Davis getting the money like what Nigel Clarke getting? No.
No.
But as it relates to the use of convenience, you're there in your country and you have certain perks and blah, blah, blah. It's okay. So then going to the IMF is not nothing. Why would you want to leave the convenience of, certain
running
perks,
a country finance?
Yeah, certain perks, and then go to IMF,
an institution, which is just an institution.
Go and work under pressure. Now, when Nigel Clarke, right, had given this opportunity, right, as a matter of fact, he jumped at it because he wanted to escape. Nigel Clarke wanted to escape what to come. Because remember now, people, Nigel Clarke has not addressed the budget shortfall.
No.
No, Nigel Clarke has not addressed the budget shortfall.
And another thing, Byron, just a second, Byron. I just want you to reiterate to the general public listening tonight that being an exchequer in your country is a more powerful job than being on the IMF board serving as just an ordinary worker, because he's not even the top official.
Look,
So why would you substitute a high profile job and demote yourself into an institutional job? Why? Let's ask the question.
I wouldn't do it. If I am a minister,
Exactly.
you understand, getting over $20 million for the year, and plus other perks that me I get. You understand? I am not going to any IMF. But Nigel Clarke, right, run to the IMF because of what Nigel Clarke is escaping. Right? And people need to understand SSL is a serious issue. And that is one of the reasons why the Prime Minister turned to Fenke, you understand, in the public eyes, because what the Prime Minister had done, you know, in terms of the Prime Minister, right, seeking judicial review. If you ask any lawyer in Jamaica, they will tell you that it's a bonehead move that, you know. They will tell you that the Prime Minister sick to seek judicial review. Well, let me say this. The Prime Minister has the right to do so, you know.
Yes,
Right?
he does.
He has the right to do so if he wants.
But he put it in
doing a move like that, you are telling the entire world that you are guilty. And not only that,
Exactly.
the Prime Minister made the matter worse in terms of not only seeking a judicial review, but also now attacking the Corruption Act, Section 14, subsection 5, to wipe it off totally. That there's nobody in a
Sign
Jamaica.
of guiltiness.
Guilty.
Yeah.
What is it he's hiding? That's the question.
Exactly.
No, so today.
Well, illicit enrichment. That's what he's hiding.
So today, them say now, only thing them say. Let me tell you what them say. Hearing continues on Friday of this week. So,
Okay.
what the hearing was about? Something that continue, we know hear about it. Remember the Prime Minister, it's what happened to us. If we not talking, you know. That alone when you release now, you have to come last him out of what you talk about.
And I want to tell you, whenever jump on it tonight, you didn't hear this. And this is shortcomings as it relates. We want to hear the full entirety of what was the hearing all about today.
This is garbage.
Well, guess what?
Here in the chambers of the judges, it wasn't.
We could give him until tomorrow. You have until tomorrow. It can extend until tomorrow. Okay. We are not going anywhere now. We are here.
But you know, hey, Byron and panel, we have some more of the corruption, you know, extended arms of corruption that the Prime Minister involved in, you know. Because you see this thing where them are going without at Jamaica with the motorists, with this high volume of ticket with them issue, millions of tickets that has resulted in net profit to the government coffers of billions of dollars.
Yes.
That is now under review for people to be reimbursed. This is a systematic corruption, you know. And that's why I have been a champion in advocating for the Transport Authority to be looked into and investigated, because I know of some serious corruption that run through that institution, you know. Because when you look, you know, just look who them align themselves with. The Transport Authority align themselves to the government and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, right? And in so doing, they have extended arms, like the Examiner and the Wrecking Company. And who they target? Motorists, right? But more so the ones them that work in the transport sector as it relates to coaster bus operator and taxi operators.
Yes.
You understand? And we find that this establishment, Transport Authority, has risen from a very small office and a very small location to now one of the biggest multilateral company that is reimbursing a lot of money to the Jamaican government. Yeah, but it's a panty scheme that again, because I will reiterate some serious fact that I am privy to. If your vehicle gets seized and you pay the record fee and go for pay your clearance fee to release your vehicle from over the pound,
Yes.
when you got a transport authority, yes, Mr. Hines not there, I don't think Mr. Hines should be the only personnel working there that can sign that form, that release form. But you hear Mr. Hines is all over the country attending meeting. And they drag out this thing for weeks into months. And that's how they, amass this vast amount of money. When you go for pay for your vehicle, it's like you partially pay 50% on a vehicle, the amount of money with them rack up, You understand? So if you do a forensic audit throughout the length and time that the Transport Authority has come into existence, you find that a lot of people went there with nothing and leave there as millionaires. And when you look at the type of people that they try to recruit, are ex-member of the police force. One such lady, Miss Patterson, she went there and she rise herself bigger than when she did in the police force. And she fast track her little brother into it, him rise himself too. And when you look upon people who are work as just general transport authority inspectors out on the road, a man come there couldn't even buy him lunch on the first day, but him end up with all 2-3 taxi on the road in no time. Because them carry out a systematic hustling mentality. You understand? Them use all form of mechanism to hustle from the people working within the transport sector. Yeah, taxi man have to pay them. Bus man have to pay them. But remember when you pay them, where them the Jews where them want, where them come, beg your lunch money, beg you this, beg you that, I give them, Make sure no set tomorrow morning, them same one ticket you for the government. So them hustle for themselves and them hustle for them government. You understand? And we are saying that these things has to stop. These farmer malpractices have to stop. Because number one, we can't have the type of deplorable, dilapidated road where we have in a Jamaica. But yet still you have examiner come out with police as Monday morning as the cock crow them out on the road. And what them do, we show you transparency is at a minimal for them. Them go around the bend and hide. As you come around the bend, them flag you. So this is showing that it's a trap. It's a situation that they have orchestrated and formulated just to have the people within the transport sector working not for themselves, but working for them. They know what the current scheme of thing is as it relates to your daily intake for your coaster bus. They know what the taxi man them are pulling. And what them do, them make sure know them put a peg in that cake there. Every day them take a peg out of that cake. So you find these poor operators, they lose rather than gain. Bad road, spare parts. Examiner, take away your vehicle. Transport authority, hustler for you, ticket you. So the driver and the conductor, them, everybody is just contributing to this criminal activity that they have employed upon the bus and taxi operator in Jamaica. And I mean, you have the general motorist them where face it as well, but not as, much as these operators do. So I'm speaking on behalf of the operators them, right? Because I know what they have been through. And I know that it was a corrupt panty scheme again, run by the government, the police force, the wrecking company, yeah, and the examiner.
But
So we want something in place that prevent these people. I don't say they're not supposed to do their work, you know. Don't get me wrong. But you cannot be charging a man for defective vehicle when him don't have any road. So until you fix the road, you can't come put them ticket upon a man for defective vehicle. You can't charge a man for tire when the road a chop up him tire when him just buy it.
But it is
so we need them things to stop.
Yeah, man. It is so like it. And it is Pastor Ricky and Mystic. Yeah? The Transport Authority is supposed to be a regulation body. We're not supposed to have no them powers that we see. Oh, you are come out and lock up people and do all kind of little things. No, it's a regulation body. Yeah. We have a regulation body, regulator. You have police to do policing. And you should not have the power that you are transport now. We have some battery ride and are going to people taxi and I take it away. Me just see 1 week before last, them charge are going to a man taxi go take thief in money. When they must mountain view and go outside them a drive, the bags going in the bag and them catch up on camera going in and put it now some up on her, you know. You understand? So them are going like normal people and not go transport authority. These people are not police. We don't believe in that. It's a regulator body. It's supposed to stay that way.
Exactly.
It's wrong. It's wrong. We need to straighten that, you know. Because you can't have a regulator body. And like I say like we have the FSC. What name? FSC?
Financial Services.
Right.
Regulator body. So them recommend and they may do what. But you know, you understand? See? So and them might
and you want to know something that is very fundamental to all of this. You have police, you know, who have him wrecking company where him directly call you to pick up the car when him sees that, you know.
Yes, man. Yes.
You understand?
Yeah, man. So
good.
The other day, I show no police stop at you right there, so and take him car and the pound over there, so. And you can't pound number one, the money of the government that use it build up. Them it's a way for tax people, you know, right? You have pay bad road all over the place. 2 people get washed for the in the little when we come day before yesterday. 2 people wash for, you know, Joe. You know, find them bucket, a woman and must somebody else, right? Wash for, sweep away. In a vehicle and thing. See? You have so much bad road and you still, you know, police are waiting for you, these people, take off thing and put it on record and do. When you drop in a patrol, I know, Andrew Hall, because and a Porsche when it up, yes. So when you drop in Andrew Hall now, come on, drop in Andrew Hall and John in a better. Don't you send to this?
Yeah, man.
So we can show him Andrew Hall.
Fresh in our mind, my brother.
I peer them road in the road now, peer Andrew Hall. Yes. Remember a charge, you say a Porsche hold, you know, you get 100 full. You say a Porsche hold, no, that Prime Minister hold, that mean a 100 hold. So in a business, a 100 hold them in the road. Yeah? Some man dropping on the road and Joe. You have the road full of peer and Joe. And you know, fix them. And then you turn around now and charge people instead of people sue the government. Fair dropping on the court, them here, then front end are dropping on 100 hold. Front end and on the court.
Mr. Hold on. Pastor Ricky, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I want to jump back into the section 14, subsection 5 of the Integrity Commission Act.
The Corruption Act. Oh, that's the Corruption Act, not the Integrity Commission.
Corruption Act. Thanks. Yeah. What we're realizing that the Prime Minister is involved in a cover-up scheme. Yes. And so the fact that he wants the law to be struck down, the guardrail against corruptions, illicit enrichment, in other words, corruption. And the fact that he's trying to get the courts to terminate it, that's clear evidence that he has something to hide and him guilty of hiding something that is involved with illicit enrichment. So the question that the court have to answer is that what is the evidence that he's going to provide to the court for them to struck it down to say it was illegal in the first place in the Corruption Act? There is no evidence because him praise the corruption every December at when they have the anti-corruption seminars, our conference, excuse me. and praise them and highlight them from 21, 22, 23, and say how great of a job they're doing. And he approve of the work they're doing with the same law that he's trying to get the courts to struck down. So his unconstitutionally behaviors to cover up his crimes, his financial crimes. I don't think the court is going to honor his request. All 30 provisions that he's trying to get the court to look at and take out of the act is not going to fly in. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, if them do that, then what's going to happen to what I'm calling the chopper them and the scammer them, where I rip off people from overseas, the diaspora? Then their lawyers can get the judge now to go back and revisit their case or file for some motion to reopen their cases. So what am I doing by doing this? Open a floodgate of problems that's gonna be burdensome to the courts, number one, and two, many people who are guilty of these crimes might have to get reimbursed. So I don't think the court is going to rule in his favor, and this is part of his cover-up scheme. And as I always say, the cover-up is just as worse as the crime that was committed. Any investigator can tell you that. A lot of people pick up additional sentences for the cover-up part of their crimes.
Because the cover-up part of the crime, has more implication than the crime itself, in my estimation.
You're right.
You understand? Because there is no semblance showing that you are willing to eradicate corruption when you cover it up. You understand?
Yes.
So we have to just view these things right across the board, as straight corruption with a violation to the people rights in Jamaica. Because all these corruption affect the people in Jamaica.
True.
And we've seen the suffering has escalated to the point that we are emphasizing once again, bread and toothpaste is not on the shopping list anymore.
Yeah. Well,
and those are two basic commodities.
Let's see what he's going to say about the Integrity Commission next month at the anti-corruption seminar.
Well, we have to wait with bated breath as to what his response will be this time around. Or will he endorse them? Will he find them credible or unjust?
Remember say, I know where him a fine. We don't know some corrupted. From me say 473 million.
73 million.
473 million. I run to him thing. We don't know that chatting with your Holness. All right, no what.
Hold on. Just use that figure. Just use hold on for the loan some on panel. And let's extend this out. It's 179 account. We find 473 million in 17. 7 fours is 28. And it's only 4. We look at and see 473 million are run through. So that is just 17 at the apple.
Yes.
Now I bring Pat Moore, me just get a call to you and me just see more people as I carry on Pat Moore. Yeah, I carry on Pat Moore. We definitely when we request, we get that granted. We carry on Pat Moore. We don't want to say Pat. We carry every just look over here, man.
All right.
That thing around the service. We carry people, man. Every yes. Because right now straight down to when I went. So we don't say Pat Moore. People want to say Pat Moore, They don't want to say Dalrymple. Let me show you something though, I'm not gonna laugh. But this I must quote where he said this, but remember thing when we were all the while. Because him run competition with, yes. With certain name. Look on this.
Well, see me die after them, yeah. See them, yeah. Me huggies. Me walk with me huggies this morning.
No, Tom Pan.
Yes? Because
Big Mama. So what him Tom them? He Pan?
from last night me affair use them.
Yes.
Yes. From last night. Me never see this one coming. Me sick. Sick like dog. Hold on. You make me forget. Oh dear. I hope I have enough to last me until about 1 o'clock today.
Sometimes in pipe bus, you have to bung for bung them up.
Let me ask you a question.
When Cameron did a mark rolling when him gonna need them every day.
Yeah.
Do you believe that his exhaustion pipe has been compromised?
Well, I know that's the one, but you know, so the one I pipe and wash with. From the kids,
Hey,
the whole place flood out.
Byron alone, some. I wouldn't even use the term exhaustion pipe, you know. I would have said the aisle pipe. The aisle pipe, man. Aisle pipe bus.
Yes, man.
You know, say, Pastor Ricky said something earlier in our conversation, and it's pertaining to ADMAT. And I am sitting here and, you know, trying to process and reprocess the question that Pastor Ricky, or the argument that Pastor Ricky was trying to pose earlier. And what Pastor Ricky was saying, that ADMAT, as it relates to what we know, not having an account, right, in terms of purchasing those properties. We want to get back there with, because where I'm going, and where I believe that Pastor Ricky is going, that let us just presume for a bit that ADMAT may have an account set up somewhere offshore that is not a part of the 28 that had been discovered. What that will say, that if FID investigates and put ADMAT under the focus, and where FID now establish that indeed ADMAT have an account set up maybe offshore or somewhere that the Integrity Commission investigators did not find. Now, back up a bit, Wayne. The Integrity Commission investigators plead with Andrew Holness on about 3 or 4 different occasions. They said to Andrew Holness, they said, do you have any accounts either in Jamaica or outside of Jamaica that we don't know about that you want to speak on? And clearly, he said no. Now, tell me now, if FID investigate and find that indeed ADMAT have an account set up offshore, then tell me something, Wayne. Now, prison, hold on. Andrew Holness not pass prison?
No, but remember put something to that. So, ADMAT itself, I don't think it have an account for you. And that's how we question it. But I think them have offshore account. So I think some down in Central America, because them go down, they go set up something. Might another female, because them set up something down in Central America too, you know. And them set up things in the Caribbean. So I must it itself have their account, but them have account attached to him. So them use other people, because I remember I use sisters, them use other people, you know. But money I hide somewhere else. And that's something different from ADMAT. You understand? Them have more things out there. So, all right, so whatever them do. So them set up ADMAT, that is the holding firm. Then we have all 5 or 6 more companies what we know hear about. It not tie. So if you find out, you don't find the rest. So them have feed up for search and find them. When you find them and then you attach them back, then we have to send them a prison for them there too. Because but there are thing out there. Yeah.
The question is going to be simple. If I am that investigator, I am going to ask Andrew Holness. So let me speak it out. I am going to ask Andrew Holness that, okay, based on these 4 properties that Admat had purchased. Tell me how Admat, how the money
All right.
into Admat to purchase these.
That's
But
my
you-
question.
Yeah. What fuel the funds the funds to Admat for Admat to purchase these
But I
buildings?
know, you know what I tell you now? So me tell you again, me work it out and me show you how Patrick Bailey work. Remember, you know, we talk to the people that me show you. So you, with them set up shell company, I call some you get to you choose them mother and them granny. See, your granny, you buy a place in an Admat, but Admat don't have account. Your granny don't have account, but she own a property worth 100 million. Where she get the money from? And the grandson we sell him drugs or him juggle and him buy it na name and then make she will it give him because she soon dead. That is legalize him, you know. See? So them set up an hide under Adman, but really Adman have nothing to buy nothing, you know. So when me I buy me, alright, I'm here Andrew Holness. Every money where I'm here, alright, me a member of parliament and me a chop some money. Everything when I buy, me I buy it in my name, you know. Me buy it in an Admat. Me a liar I purchase it because I can't carry the wagga wagga and him know if I go dispose of it and put it right in an Admat name. It not buy in my name. But who are the shareholder for Admat? I me. You know, so it's easy to buy things like that or that me I show you in a shell company that them do. You see? So now if you have something where it itself a purchase, and that him do, holding company, and then that alone shows a corruption because if you was a president even 1 month, something like this, upward, not on that table. You understand? The whole of this spooky. See?
But you know, lonesome.
Yes.
I have a theory idea, you know. And I may just, you know, put it into practical terms. Because if you look at who and who set up Admat, you know, Bailey and Andrew Holness, you know. But Bailey that do something where I move money from upstate for some people where I have to clean.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe Admat was one of the entity that those money was, you know, orchestrated through.
I'm sure tonight, yes.
Yeah.
And that him do.
Still,
So them bank account overseas, no make a mistake, you know. But
And that's why when him kill Junior and I'm house, that's why when him kill Junior and I'm house, him come out and, you know, categorically tell the people them say, him back broad.
No, before that, him say, him don't know him name, you know. Remember, you know, I'm going to show you how you know it's a Bailey a criminal. You say the man named Gully when him just dead. Me talk to the man baby mother. Me talk to the man other family member. Me talk to the man named friend in a Jamaica which part him hustle and everywhere else. Me get the whole story or everything. Me talk to other people who Bailey deal with, you know. Collect money from buy them house. Me know house Bailey buy too, you know. Yeah? So we know Bailey run now. When the eagle fly, you know, me do some deep investigation on you know. Me not easy, you know, me know people. See? You understand? So Bailey, him one of them will wash money and cover up things. Enough more liar Jamaica do the same thing. But they will kill you. Alright, you come out. The man gets shut up how much years before. And you was him liar, you have him all name, date of birth and everything because you am liar, you represent him and win the case. Man get to go foreign, the one who make money send come get. You buy every house and every piece of land give. 100 acres down in St. Mary, more house all over the place. And you let it so. And eat off some money and you say you give him the place and you say wait to when Andrew win. And when Andrew win, the man end up dead. The baby mother
But you call him Gully. But you call him Gully.
You call him Gully when I'm uncle know him as Gully. What I tell you,
but you was his client previously.
Yeah, remember you represent the man. For much.
Yeah.
Shoot him up at Jamaica.
Hey,
But you go know him as go back to the paper, you can't move it. We not tell no lie, not my word.
Yeah.
My all of them.
Not Titan word either.
let me
Him
say,
and not free now. Him and the police will help kill the youth and them because all of them involved. Right? Him and your guard. Now when you look now, doctor go up there, police go up there, big police and call doctor. Doctor say him want bed rest. Him want bed rest.
Well, he must want bed rest after stabbing 21 times. Maybe him and them tired and him chest a beat and a pound. So maybe, because that's the only type of thing that could have really solidify the word bed rest.
Right. Yeah, man, now give something, man. Police shoot the
Me
man.
know about through the bed rest part come in, me just, and a female and in the man dead, and him affiliation with the man. But we know, lonesome, remember, we know we're going on, my brother. So when you hear me just run through.
Yeah, no, but we're going to give him so we know where we're going.
Yeah, we know where we're going. We know everything in that case.
Call him Gully, and then you come back with him name. So right away for you call him Gully, and then the case. Remember, you never know. You wanna know, Byron, I don't know who wanna know.
Yeah.
If like you wanna talk to the people, them and know. Say, oh, what on? Are you represent the man much? So why you not call him Gully? And say Mr. Gardner when him is not.
Exactly.
This because that name show off completely.
That show off the case right away.
Exactly.
You understand? So there's something to hide. There's something to hide.
I just want to say this real quick. As it relates to Adman, it was just a shell company, a holding company, for him to purchase stuff in the name of the company that was not in the name. Therefore, the fact that he had it offshore, not in Jamaica,
no, all right,
foreign country,
but listen,
to have a bank account.
No, but listen. All right, let me tell you something. All right, let me get something to you, Ricky, again. So you can register a company right now in a all right. So you can do it in Trinidad. So if you do it in Trinidad, you stay in Jamaica, you stay in America, anyway, you buy things, you just buy it in the company name. You don't have to go down there.
Right.
So at that so listen now, the company is registered and it now run down there. So even if you're going to pay, it's a shell company, it now operate down there really, but it's registered there. Like a ship, you register a ship in Jamaica, but it operates somewhere else. But this now operate though, is a holding company, so you register it in the next country for 12 people. So when I say, oh, it's bullshit. It now have the money, them have the money when them chop the money, them buy it same like your granny, when me tell us the Patrick Bailey do, him clean money. So Admat, well, all right, which part him that him want to register in Jamaica for you looking at the registration, And
right.
He want it outside, but remember, out them do the business. In Jamaica, everything by,
Yeah.
Where the money come from? It's like having and everything and every money where you match up, and from board money, anything where you buy, it run through liar and them clean it for you, When I'm money where they want to see it, And when them do that now, them buy it in the name of the company. Remember, you're the shareholder, So when you peel off that thing there, you have to say, him own it. So don't the girl investigate. Then remember, pregnant child the same thing, $1,000 get 1,500 acre land. But it's still Jamaica in 1982. Me have it right as so. So when you do not put him son on it in 94, when he was 16, couldn't be a director neither. Too young. And then put him that upon it, the two of them there in the house now. And then sit down upon that. He was minister. When he do it, all that should take back from him,
Yeah.
My Minister of Labour, man, at the time when him deal with it, man. My Minister of Labour,
Yeah, Wayne, watch out. You see, and Mr. Understand where Pastor Ricky is going, but Wayne, what you say, you're right. But let me just explain something to Pastor Ricky. What Wayne is saying, right, is that, put it this way in a layman terms, that the company Admat is what you call a deflector. Let me try to break it.
Deflector, that is it, yes.
You understand? It's a deflector, right? So them have Admat, but really and truly, right? Admat doesn't have an account.
No.
So where Wayne is going with this is that what Admat being utilized to purchase the company through Admat name are these persons who are splinter persons, like a Patrick Bailey.
Yes.
Who will buy stuff and register it in Admat.
Yes.
Other persons buy stuff and register it in Admat. So
yes.
what Phil have to do, you understand, as you said earlier, Pastor Ricky, which you're perfectly right, that they need to follow the money. So then, okay, what Phil need to do, don't pay attention too much as it relates to trying to find an account for Admat, because what Andrew Holness had done, cleverly had done, might be, you understand, making sure that ADMAT doesn't have an account where
Yeah.
an
Let me tell you why.
investigation can go in there, you understand, and see transaction moving through and investigate and find culpability. Let me just finish the point.
Don't move. Let me tell you why. If you for use, remember when I have the Eastern Caribbean dollars, they have to use US money.
Yes.
It touch the banking system. So you know, from Jamaica and send money there and then I think because he might put himself in a trouble, he might not eat that, you know.
Yes.
Remember when the money land, it have a show.
Exactly.
So you know what? Just listen, me know them style, you know. So and I like you that send the money, because you have a wire it in a US.
Yes.
US. No, when you touch with them Swift banking system, you just get knocked.
Yes.
So it's simple for you buy it there and it's a deflector.
Yes.
All right. You the writer so where you know and you have a company at Jamaica. You can stay and buy one when you with this title or you did you have a company overseas. You can do it. See? So when I'm doing that thing do deflect. So when you see the things them, you say, oh, that thing the company, it no in a Jamaica, you know, in a register in a Jamaica, you know. So you know so much money and thing in my teeth and I move, you know. It register down there so. So I buy it and put it in there. You understand?
Yes.
You know, say I didn't die.
Exactly. But so what's this? What he was trying to do was prevent all of this. So when people were saying, even when Zara Burton was doing the investigation, and Zara Burton was asking him that in him utilizing ADMAT in the way how he utilized ADMAT, right? Wasn't that he was trying to deal with tax dodging, right? Or trying to, you know, not paying tax. But guess what? What we are looking at now, it was that Andrew Holness was really hiding from paying tax.
I know the tax can be everything.
Hold on. What he was actually hiding away from is the source of wealth in
Thank you. Hey, Titans. That does you can't take me, you know.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is what is hiding away from, you understand, the investigation as it relates to the source of wealth into ADMAT. Not necessarily that he was running away from tax.
All right.
And that's why he have the company set up in St. Lucia.
Let me tell you something. For you move that volume of money, we're going to buy the house, the 500,000 US, a US. You say you spend. You don't see that money spent, it have to go send to it. Remember, you know, them search up and them 28 bank account in a Jamaica, the money they have to transfer out.
Yes.
It have put him in a much trouble. And then it have to go buy the things and transfer. So you can't, remember, it have to come to Jamaica from buy the things too, you know.
Yeah.
Even the US have to come back to Jamaica, ADMAT that said it easy trace. Money traceable like that. So when them hide the things, them get kickback and hide it. But remember, you know, you have the money, you know. So we can't hide it. That make it look like it's some people over there. So
I have a question for your father, Lonesome. So did he buy the 4 properties, including his Beverly Hill mansion, in cash?
No, when all right. So
Patrick, really have an account somewhere where him draw that money there from?
No, I mean not to draw the money. Remember, keep all right. So all right, Agintai get 650 in the bush, in the bush work. Most of the money that them have 3 businessmen where him couldn't spend the money. Because them draw out the money, you know. So them pay people, you never pay the people them. A little bit of money pay the people them. Most of the money, you know, see him buy house and buy other things and all kind of things. Agintai have some of the money couldn't touch about the bank system, you know. So him have businessman and wash the money. Me not ask him, tell him to, you know. Me not ask him, me I tell him. With the right side eye, me I tell him this. See? Them have some businessman down there who wash the money. So them have money. Right now you have, big up yourself, dead man. You have minister where, you know, them around them, will have safe in them house with every money. Them take out money, go get out already, you know. Open safe and take out money, you know. Full of money, you know. US and everything, you know. Yeah? Yes. So them have so much money what them do. All right. So here the kickback go now. Government a sell piece of land. 20 million US seat. Yeah, and you give her some contract. You give it for them a sell something of a building or something like when they like the hotel. When you look now, them say 8 million and a goodbye. When a 20 million feet. So you don't get a kickback. Right away.
Yeah, 12 million.
Yeah, you give me 10 out of that, keep 2, you know. So we're gonna just put it as 8. So them have 10 million. But that Africa hide, you know. That's why them friend up the bank boys, the man kind of thing. Remember though, but when it touch US, they put in a trouble. You understand? So them know what them are do. The whole of some criminal them, you know. But
Real network of criminal man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Wayne, we go
Yes.
ask a question. So let us get back to the 2006 to 2009 period, right? As it relates to the first origin source of the crime. The
Yes.
time frame where the contractor general, you understand, investigating Gavin and
Give that money, yes.
now what needs to be done then? Let me just say it. What needs to be done is Gavin account need to be investigated.
Yes.
Where for all those money that Gavin had gotten through the Ministry of Education, how is that money utilized between Gavin account and possibility any money leaving from Gavin account into probably one of Andrew Holness account?
But no, but yeah, some of them not going to their account. Some of them going to liar's account and liar money. They move money and check and then liar bank. All right. For instance, they could use the same Ministry of Education, but use real greed. What was the administrator? I think that to the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Right?
Advisor.
Prime Minister. Okay. So 50 million in move. But them get an account now with the woman like 3 or 4 million. 50 million move from them.
Yes.
You notice what him do? Sign up him driver, him PM. Them check him on them PM. Where the money they gone? Them pay the woman. Them sign up other people too. Burn what have you. So this is how them move money. 50 million move, you know. 50. We don't say all of the 50 yet, you know. 50 million, them move, 50 million, they move, you know. Out of that, you know. In the space.
I think it was 55 million.
Yeah. So they move over 50 million, and this is how they move it. You saw them can kick back and do them thing. Them will sign up and say, he must supply them food with that and that. No, but them have a real name because the youth that drive for them. And
What them doing alone, some? Them create a thing called decoy.
Yes, so this is how I be a criminality. Them find ways and them sit on the wall.
What is real? Yes. The question that Pastor Ricky asked previously, right? And I understand why Pastor Ricky asked a question. Pastor Ricky asked, how did he pay for the land? Did he pay for it via checks, or did he pay cash?
No, but hear this now. He not pay cash because a Patrick Bailey do it. So what them do now, when the money thief, them get them wawa, them put it where them are put it to. And then it will go to him and him. Remember him go for money and clean it, you know. Him a film source, you know. Him a liar, you know. Remember liar buy house and sell house and for much million and them can go into the bank. Them clean money very easy. These dirty liars.
So Wayne,
yes.
For field investigation, we might see field investigation and running a Patrick Bailey.
Them for running a
yeah.
Not clean. Man, get out of the can't say go tell
you because Byron, you know, the whole eventuality of the investigation when link all the perpetrator the high stake player. It will have to connect them.
Because if I am on that mission investigating that, you understand? All the players who put money into ADMAT, right, or buy anything and put it into ADMAT, they have to be on our investigation.
Of course.
Of course.
Because investigating them is going to lead to the source of the money.
Exactly. Because you know how them deal with it, you have a main river and then you have the tributaries that were branch off. You know they still connect to the river.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think the main river, the river head is SSL.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
All right.
So you see, so you want them to know. You see, liars. They what them call it client liar privilege and them go on. Remember them do a lot of washing money, you know. Yeah. Remember liars sell a lot of building and a lot of places like Patrick Bailey said a man $100 million and he won enough money to him thing. And he take the man money. He take it, you know. Remember when them tell him to go give back the man, and then them must say move him, then them give back the man 16 million and say under this, and the quota say give him it back. Them sell the man place and take the money.
Well, on the way.
And there was a time, just a second, Byron. There was a time when a spate of lawyer, attorney, people doing business, real estate transaction was under investigation because it was the norm. Everybody was doing it willy-nilly.
Them do it. Them take other artist money to another artist place. Them sell it and take money. Yeah.
And Nigel Clarke Charity Company needs to be investigated as it relates to the source of money.
Yes.
Where it come from in terms of 2018. You understand? A large sum of money went into the charity foundation because guess what? If Fitz start SSL, you see SSL.
Some about money gone in I too.
Hey, that thing is serious.
Unregulated. They weren't regulated. Charities weren't regulated.
Hey, some serious door go open, you know, Byron. We and Pastor Ricky. Some serious door I go open. Some door where we never even know that exist.
Exactly. Because we are discussing now, and that's why we realize that is one of the reasons why when Fid and Kral, you understand, finish the report and recommend charges, Fid and Kral would have to recommend charges, you understand, as it relates to members of the hierarchy.
Exactly.
So Elijah now make that go through and them now make it go through.
Exactly, because Fid would have to investigate. Fid would have to investigate, you understand, how SSL internal audit system work and why the internal audit system did not pick up, you understand, what is going on. So then, Fid investigate the internal audit system, it is going to show you all the people who are culpable. You understand? Now, you are going to see now where most of the money from out of SSL, you understand, you spoke about the main river and the branches.
The tributaries.
Tributaries, right? And you will see now how from SSL, you understand, the various prongs of these tributaries, as you call it, you understand, going into might be funding the general election as it relates to the charity, Nigel Clarke
Foundation,
going into other charity foundation to prop up the general election and so forth. And you can see now where money now being coming out of SSL, going into NCB, you understand, into an account.
And them leaving NCB going to a particular account again. That is also one of the tributaries to the main river.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then.
He failed to give account for his source of income for his foundation.
That's why he cannot give. That's why the investigation has to stop. Where the Integrity Commission investigators stop it, because the investigators now are asking, okay, we see this money, source of funds. Explain the source of fund. This is what Andrew Holness cannot explain for 3 years. And if you give him 10 more years, he's not going to be able to explain it. So then you see, it may not have a problem.
Hear this now. Why you think them don't call in the feds instead of call Kral?
Yes.
Feds don't need Kral. Them like straight so and say, listen, them have even more feds on the ground than where me. It's all the guy like say anything from out of him. Let me tell you this. When the guy look for me and tell me them like that one thing, you know. My ears them clean. Me not like no accident on my ears. Me not know but very clean. Very clean. Very clean.
Very clean.
You can't come tell me nothing about you. For me, follow him. And lead me nowhere. No Nigel Clarke. Nigel Clarke, that you know. Yeah? Remember the feds, them advance. If the feds that maybe money even move. Them don't talk about this. Remember, if them come here and them are straight everything, you know. The whole of it gone, you know. So make sure keep them out. When McClarkin come and say, listen, them not there. If you want them, but we capable. He come and say,
But panel.
And them quiet. Yes.
Panel. When you look at the, legality of the feds, right?
Yes.
as a body that has worked worldwide, known worldwide, and done worldwide, investigation and incriminated people on a world basis.
Yeah.
And then for you to move away from that and go to a private independent
Yes.
law firm
Yes.
to conduct such a high magnitude corruption theft.
Yes.
What is that saying?
Because
they water down the thing to suit their own needs.
let me straighten you
Because
out.
the feds would have done what
Yes.
they need to do and put the result right there and then.
Let me straighten you
No,
out.
they didn't give them the feds. I lock them up.
Yeah, let me straighten you
Then
out.
that me I say, and that me I say,
Yeah,
the feds wouldn't pass on nothing for them preside over. The fed would have just do it right there and then. And would have the result, and people that are behind bars long time. So them have to move away from the feds. But what them do, well Nigel Clarke come and tell we say feds are going to dip on the ground and them dip on the ground. That was just to calm, just to put a damper over it and say yes, it might work because him in solidarity with Bolt and Bolt money and him want transparency, so him go to the higher scale. But in no time, McCracken come out and say nothing like that. There's no feds. You understand? And then, just as McCracken said that, we hear the investigation move from FBI and gone to crawl. So we find out, say, when you juice, carrot juice, and you lend it, and that him just pour some water in it and thin out the thing. Because the FBI would have done what they need to do and put everything in a package, wrapped it, put it away. This company, they can't do that. They don't have the power.
They don't have prosecutorial powers.
Right.
They don't. And that is one of the reasons why, as I said, let me just go parallel with your argument. You understand the argument that you drafted, you understand it's wonderfully drafted. Let me say that line. Because when you look at it, the reason for Nigel Clarke not to use FID, not to use the feds, right? The
FBI.
The FBI was to the very same fact that the FBI was going to dig and it was going to go straight back to ADMAT. And if it goes back to ADMAT, exactly, a whole can of worm is going to explode.
Whole heap of can of worm open up.
No matter where all of the financial bodies are buried. But
Yes.
I have a question. Nigel Clarke is no longer in Jamaica as the finance minister. What did he dissolve his 3 unregulated foundations, the charity one that nobody in St. Andrew knows about? Council of them don't know nothing. Did he dissolve it or is it still there?
No, it has not been dissolved.
We haven't heard that he has dissolved it, but that's what should have done if he's leaving and he's the chairman of the board of that charity organization. It should have been dissolved.
Right.
Because he cannot turn over the operation management of that charity to no one else because it's registered under his name.
And in 2020, a lot of Zara Burton's Substack revealed that $84 million came out of his foundation, and he didn't say what the source of the source of revenue were that put $91 million into those foundations. So is it still collecting money for the upcoming general election? That's what we need to find out.
We need to get some clarity on that, Pastor Ricky. And I mean, you've been echoing the word from last week.
Yeah,
and
man.
it's widely accepted as we, the Titans, know. We need to get clarity on that.
Well, I'm not sure I think now. Listen now. These money, some of it come from SSL same way and other kickbacks. Simple.
Other kickbacks, definitely.
I know like people are donate about him foundation. Now tell us say SSL and kickbacks.
SSL and kickbacks.
Them are kickbacks. These are all them clean money. Them are mafia. This is not joke. Them are some nasty.
No
mafia.
2 years about that, Wayne. No 2 years about that. I endorse that. Mafias.
Liars, them with them have yes, so look up. Them liars, I will question liar most of them.
Yeah.
Them know so them stinking of themselves.
Yeah.
Tell me I tell you this.
Bien, what are Bien? Because you left out one of the items, right?
Yes.
SSL,
Yes.
kickback, and
Yes.
donations.
Yes.
Donations.
And
Because-
them rob the you see that I call them thing when it come
Yes.
on like the Corbin them Storm and them thing there. It's when them get grants,
Yes.
them thief them that too, you
Yes.
know. And
Yes.
the donation.
Them get robbed. What?
Them
Yes.
hold on a panel, hold on, make we just double on even a little bit further. Even
Yeah.
at the whole saga, you know, to show you how wicked Nigel Clarke and the Prime Minister is, you know. Them still benefit out of SSL saga because when Nigel Clarke come tell us him I pay 15 million a week to have staff at a place that is being investigated and closed down. Oh, so what would be the operational cost if it was in full operation function? Because
But
you just have pay 15 million when it scaled down, you know.
With a me
What was the operation cost when it fully in operation?
it is.
You don't need
Nigel Clarke robbed Jamaica there and then.
to pay the employees to keep the computers up and running, man. They
Yeah,
can
but it is.
turn off when they're ready.
It is. That when tell me it not sound right. Because you couldn't have the same staff where so much money missing and then them just work normal and just one woman you lock down. That alone spooky again.
Exactly.
So that one, because you say the same staff, that means nobody else and you just to cut a woman where she couldn't move the money, it's not a bank. So we just make that clear. When people say she will go to prison, all big mama come out and tell her, you know, say, you know, Gino and Panton older, a big, what them say?
Luxurious apartment.
Nothing never goes. So, you know, me tell you, say,
And watch him style, him emphasize the apartment, you know. Luxurious.
support. Woman no own apartment. The whole build, the whole complex. Be a fully system to talk. But listen, if somebody could have moved, remember the money there, anyway where you use US money, it raise red flag with US. They will get you if you do things with their money. Because
And if you
fit it or anything and from a touch a system always. So we know that. So that's why I mean
and if you just broaden the spectrum as to who we are talking about, Jean and Panton. She's not a hold on. Let me just finish. She's not a CEO, you know. She don't own a business, so she can't move the money there.
So see me now want to miss it, you know. Me don't want to miss it. Because I don't want to stay on shit. I want to go back to US or the American all these people are there. Because them wash money, them open another company. Them going to Central America and them open company right now. But yes, still the money now leave. Remember Jamaica, them want to turn in a black sand and steel, you know. Yes. Same? Yes. Black, cement, sand and steel and gravel. They want to turn it in a building and other little things and then them keep and transfer. That's why you see enough of them. And you see much bank account, we never see that amount of bank account in no time in a history. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica have these bank accounts. He might have woman him in a bank account where just work in them constituency. Remember, you know, in a real great place, them have bank account where you look, they make the woman open it. But that's why I tell you some more bank account is there, but not enough for them name. They might have the pin feet and same way where real greed do with the woman.
Yeah.
Same way them do. And the first thing see that for them do that is that thing where them copy or do. So I true nobody not talk about it. We could just talk about it and done. So
but we know Sir Roy will copy Andrew Holness blueprint.
Yes, so the same thing what them do.
True.
The same thing them do. So more money there and more man. A matter of fact, you have banker keep money for them. Banker, you have thing but keep back with a man and say, listen, you have a money. Even the money where you say 700,000, you don't make mistake with them money. The bank can have to fall up. You can't make mistake with US account.
You mean with US and Jamaican dollar? They can't mix up that.
So you see the two accounts where them say them have US and them say, all right. So Byron, you have the bank. And I mean, they said I had part of the government. I mean, I said, no, it's a mistake. 700,000. It was Jamaica and them put me as US. We never hear that happen in history yet.
That
Okay.
can't happen with.
But we know you, Byron, and me call you.
Look here.
And
All right.
Byron. Now I say, Byron, you do now.
Monthly statement, a monthly bank statements too. So that could be.
Now I said to Byron, you know, turn that in a 701 hour. So how much that? $700 $5,000? All right, $5,000. Move that thing down, put it like it was somewhere for me. I remember a bank, them can easily do it for you. and turn it in a Jamaican account, $5,000 that in another 700,000 US, you know. $5,000 turn back in a $700,000, you know. 5,000. So the 5,000 are turning at that. But remember, them have statement, them have to check them thing. The bank did that. This who do that, you can't make mistake and then not pick it up by 24 hours. I lie them I tell. It couldn't stay there and then Usman, it never happened, and then it happened twice with him. Then put money in him for send back twice.
Ben, listen, what Andrew Holness said, and that's why I laugh and know say Andrew Holness is really a corrupter, because the explanation that he had given to say that the bank made an error, right? That error could have never made. Let me explain to the people, right? For people who, all right, if you are said you're using, right, a wholesale place, right, and you know every sales have to go through the cash register.
Yes.
Right? So every sales is going to be recorded through the cash register.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day,
you have a journal.
yes, at the end of the day, right, in terms of you doing your final account, right, if there is any variances, it is going to establish right then and there, because obviously you're not going to be balanced.
Exactly.
You're not going
exactly,
to be
balanced. Byron.
Right?
That's why I know you're the expert on these things, you know, because I draw the same assumption.
Yeah.
They couldn't have anything balanced.
No.
So right away, because of the disparity between the currency and the vast amount of money, that would be a big hole in that bank that need to be filled.
It cannot be done. And put it this way, even if you understand the tellers that miss it, right? It wouldn't be missed as it relates to the bank appropriation account.
No.
Can't miss. Listen. And no matter, you know, they make a mistake. It's not no mistake. When you say that does 700, when you say next 143,000 US at 20 million that, when you look now, no account, it just open and put in there, and then when you look at transfer, it goes somewhere else. The man draw 50 million, you know, and then draw 120 million to him, bank 140 million, you know, 2 times, you know. You know, all them things that I be a money laundry, you know, be a sitting, you know, you know, have no workers and nothing, but you draw the money and move it up and down. That's straight money laundering we are looking at.
And another sensitive question we have to ask. If the IC did not investigate Andrew Holness, would this bank know that the money was disparity in that way as it regard to 700,000 Jamaican dollar when it should be 700,000 US? Why take so long for them find out that?
Exactly.
So when they ask them,
but we know that. But you know, we just throw it out there.
I want to give
you know, just to give them leverage, because these people are so lying and corrupted. How when you give them leverage? When you give them leverage loans, some them still are hang themselves.
No, but when I give nothing, can't hear this now. Him to lie. And we are telling Pint Black him to lie. We not make him play with we right now, you know.
None can't play with you, man.
And all kind of things we are telling him say it cannot happen. A lie matter.
It can't.
It can't happen. In the stinker. Him to lie. And that
hey, you see that establishment where them create out there, we have to dismantle that establishment, because me I go tell you, I go find some players where you never have dreams of them on them team. The network big, you know. The network is huge.
It's a scheme going on. It's everything we are talking about, a part of the cover up.
Exactly.
Look on this. Again, you again talk. You know, we can come back to you all the time and come back to anyone I know. They draw $3 million from AHA, when you was the minister of control that. And you're going on, you're saying, you know, remember the eagle they do only when you talk. When them everybody don't pay you, remember 400 million that took first rock, you know. What you say, again, you say, Andrew tell you to do it. Transfer it, and you see that you know everybody and you do school and just a watch. Don't it? So Andrew tell him to do it, you know.
Yes.
And I know we not hear AAJ get back that money in the 400 odd million. But first we build house and build things, you know. So you take even government money and wash, like what we see now, SSL. The man sit down and wash money and do all kind of things and like him a scheme the profit and everything. Them dangerous.
Yeah.
But Wayne, in all of this, as it relates to AAJ, Airport Authority of Jamaica, yeah, have they make allegation in regard to that amount of money that has not come back to them?
Let me say, I know the government not say nothing, I send back, no, you nothing.
Exactly. So that's why me say, when the whole Hullabaloo finally come to a crescendo, we are going to see some player but we don't even know so they on them team. Because the network huge. Where the man assemble around him, you know, are some real criminal, you know, when I have no sympathy on the landscape of Jamaica. Them just want to keep the people them in a critical space in them life where them never rise. Can't rise because corruption and not something elevate you. Corruption destroy you. And when you have the corruption so wide and transparent right through so many sectors of the country, we're supposed to grow the country, you're going to find that the massive are the one that suffer. So this Andrew Holness led JLP government has no empathy for the Jamaican citizen. It's the worst government to ever take office in Jamaica. And Jamaica need to know this. Stop the shenanigans and running behind this corrupted government. Because the arms that they have will never embrace you who is running behind them. It embraces the minority with their network counterparts. And they're using you people as scapegoat to endeavor their pride and to garner their wealth. Because you give them pride to be politician, you know. What have you gotten back from the ministerial position where you put them in? You get nothing more than corruption rather than 15 years. High level, fine for a little mass who no value nothing. When no other government in the entire world never done to them citizens. Wake up, Jamaican. Wake up and smell the coffee. Know what time of the day it is. You're under bondage by this Andrew Holness-led JLP government. And I make no apology when I say it because, I mean, I know for a fact that my people in Jamaica are suffering to the core. Regardless of how you see them come out and run behind these people. When them go back home, them hungry like a dog. I remember Andrew Holness using with the fifi and to make be nice. You don't even hear what him said. Because be a lie I tell and you know what I hear. So who use as hand blower, whistle blower. And I be nice you make when you go. You don't even go there for utilize common sense to know say well if nice I make come here go hear what I say. You know, see some drunk couldn't even before the meeting start. What on a junk at the meeting, you know. But just look for market you for them things just formalize and formulate itself to a high level, a behavior pattern. The people them go there and listen and receive a message that has substance for them in the near coming future. You understand? While Andrew Holness make peer nice with them little Confederate minions them with them on. Cause if I even have to tune in to a snippet of them rally, you know, I don't hear nothing. All I hear as them open their mouth is be on. Be on. Come like when the football World Cup the day at South Africa and them come out with the vuvuzela. And the same thing we have see with Andrew Holness when him go out on the street. So I don't know what I learn from Andrew Holness now. I don't know what I'm getting from Andrew Holness, but in my estimation, I've got nothing because I don't even hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. I have a question for Lonesome. Father Lonesome.
Yeah.
The Integrity Commission have 7 more corrupt, illicit members of Parliament that they have not unmasked before the public in terms of sending the report to be tabled according to section 636 of the IC Act. do you think it's fair that these criminals will be running for re-election? I mean, we don't know when they're going to, table it. I mean, send it to the parliament to be tabled, but these people should not be running for re-election. Would you think that the Integrity Commission should, if the investigation is finished, send it to Parliament so we can know who these criminals are, the other 7? We already know the Prime Minister is a criminal and he's been exposed from the last report that they sent to Parliament. Because it would be fair for everybody to go to the polls. They can call the general election anytime. I mean, they can call it next month in January, but then these criminals will be running for re-election after they breached. They should be in prison. So, what is your opinion on that? Do you think that they should table the report?
Yeah, give me opinion on that, right? The 8, I think of 5 more than for put out, You want me to say 5 more? Dalrymple was one,
Yes.
Because they say free enrichment and them talk to her and thing. So my feel that's why it add up to the 8. Them have 6 and 8, but Agintire want to, Yeah, them say them are come for crucify him and them want more things and them request more things. Them and him are back and forth. So I know say Agintire definitely I want, and I know say that
You kind of squeal.
Illicit enrichment. And it said in I think I'm a play it over and over. And imagery. It's so bad that ever government will preach about bringing this and impeachment laws and only people with integrity. When say what kind of integrity sit in a parliament, them not have none. So I did a 5 year wait part. Because
the integrity we call only people with undue integrity.
So she and one of them will lose last year, but they moved last year and them a carry her back. So it don't make sense she go pay the money and say, oh, may I pay this and you let her go, that not gonna work. She have to get charged. Because she better want us give back the concession and things so I pay it back. So let me go. It's not supposed to work.
She not qualified.
Punishment for this.
Yeah.
She qualify for go run. Then Agintire say, them are the witch hunting because no care when give them are come back. Same like the Prime Minister. So I identify them 3 days fully. I did a 5 year wait pan. 5 more me wait pan,
Well, me I go tell you something, You have a silent one the way you hear not say nothing him gone and hiding, But remember him in a WikiLeaks, crab,
No, but them
Crab in it.
No man.
Queenie in it.
Yeah, well, Queenie. He might one of them.
Then how Queenie come by having yacht. And this whole heap of supermarket I will now hold over. Him salary can't give him that. Queenie a criminal. And Chang a criminal.
Yeah, sir.
And Chang love money.
No, I said them are criminal. Alright, so we are talking about the illicit. So I'm going to show you who them attack to front of our face by Iran. You understand? Yes. She definitely and them tell about illicit enrichment and what she do. So we know that she was born and she sit down on it. And I said it to her. Remember the other day this, I said to him, she have to move, So she was born out of the 6. So them add on 2 more panic make 8. So, and then the other one in a parliament too. Them doing witch hunting. No care what I do, them hunting me. Nobody not hunting because he might buy 1 bag of place and do all kind of thing in pay can't give it, That's again time. And I tell you same, he might money down there wash. He might 1 bag of place in buy and all kind of things, The man them rich. They might invest in a 1 bag of things. So them know who, alright. You see when the government change, you see the whole thing change. The code not for them are bring to books. No care what them do, Just work and change the government and yes.
What am I looking on, Wayne, in terms of my curiosity? Right, where the illicit enrichment is concerned. And we see where the Prime Minister, right, obviously, right, under the guns, right? So his number is out there. Now, what I believe, and of course you mentioned Dalrymple, right, where Dalrymple comes into that. But I do believe that when you look on the situation with the Prime Minister having 28 accounts, I tend to ask why the Prime Minister bearing 28 accounts and don't have his wife listed
Thank
on
you.
accounts?
Thank you. We never knock him with that yet because let me tell you why you do that, Byron. So let me just answer you right this. So unless me not up to nothing good, because me and my wife have giant thing right around everything, just giant thing, right? Because my wife and the kids, them and grandkids.
Yeah.
So everything a giant thing, right? So I just say you live. Your
Yeah.
wife, no
My
problem.
wife and I, we have joint account.
See, that is it. So we live. So, but when you say your wife, not even 28 and not even one identified, that means if me get catch, you can mask some things too. You know, see, that means the one of them, it raise more eyebrow. You married for 27 years and una talk for more than 30 years and then not even one account. Y'all have count with a strange woman in your
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
see. Strange woman, but not with your wife. That raised red flag, brother.
I can't
Upon
understand.
red flag. Red
That
flag
was
upon red flag.
things. Because when you're hiding something, so if you can remember, if it's not up, then everybody gonna get catch. And maybe when them put up there, it are much more and everybody gonna get catch. So you have to hide something and me hide something. But we can't live under one roof and not hide. So I'll be a red flag in a brother. I'll be a red flag. There is no way you ever find one account. And you find up and nothing where you have. Nothing. All that.
But lonesome. The lonesome. In a Juliet Holness case, the red flag rise already, from the project, $800 million project, And that was only one of 3 projects that she had simultaneously going on. So that was a red flag to begin with.
But let Titan drive it home then.
Well, there you go. Drive it home, Titan.
Let drive it home. If Juliet Holness, right, based on what we have, let us read into what we are seeing from the Integrity Commission.
Yes.
The Prime Minister, right, name spread all over as it relates to the 28 accounts, right, and we have not seen his wife mentioned any at all. My question, we know that the wife, right, as a project that the wife started in 2012, yes. Right, at least flat. We were told that there are roughly about 2 other properties that Juliet Holness, right, is responsible for. So then my question, then how would Juliet Holness utilize transactional activities without any account?
Exactly.
So no, but she have her own account. That's why I ask again.
She have her own account. That's why you don't see her run concurrently alongside Andrew name. She have her own thing.
So let me ask you now. So why your wife are deal with them business and everything, and your wife have everything different, separate from you? You have una together, have 2 kids together and everything, one family. But you do different from everything where him do. Me not understand this not at all. It raised more red flag again. Not one, not 2, but millions of red flags.
I could drop the Titan I work tonight, Let me drop something when I melting pot. To show you the level of corruption where these people align themselves to. She get a planning permission to build X amount and she violate the planning permission. That building for tear down.
Yes. Agreed.
By all means, it for tear down. Because it was not built to the specification of the plan that you receive.
Yes.
So how did you violate the planning permission?
But in
that structure should be torn down, because we have seen where other people building have been destroyed because of they violating the terms and conditions of the plan that they got from the planning authority.
Hear this slide. You see, all right, make we get this. So, and about even tour it out with them want to. We want to know where the money come from.
Yeah, what was
we never look on the tour down, right?
Yeah. No, but what me I talk about is how much corruption and how much wrong them done.
That's simple thing, man. That can't correct. But we are saying the 800 million can't correct. Because
No.
you can't tell me where the money they come from. And your husband have 473 million around your book. 800, 400, over a billion that 1.2 billion.
1.3 billion that.
You just run it out for that. 1.273 billion. See? Yeah, so that alone over $1 billion. Plus you have
But add the next two we share bill at the same time now and just put a price to it now. And then you add the house.
Right. You can't chat to me, you know. Remember, fear more me have it, you know. So me I say half of what she said. You know what is? Me not add nothing else. Me not talk about no chuck. Me like say things when me see.
Okay, okay. You just had to use the IC.
When me no, and when she in a quote of 5 800 million. This is what me a quote she. Me say 473 million. You see me as a Byron?
Yes.
Then me see some other money. So me just put them to their loan over 1.273 billion dollar, nearly 1.3. Thus them two things their loan, them three little things their loan come up to, you know. So these people for the X amount of $1 billion.
I told you say over 7 billion them value.
But when in the history of our politics, what the people need to know, no other prime ministers, right, who had gone before, right, had 28 accounts, and in the short space of time, amass the amount of wealth what Andrew Holness amassed. But what people need to look into, you have other prime ministers who have businesses. The fact of the matter, Andrew Holness has no business before he ventured into the politics. So then for Andrew Holness, again, and where we are seeing as it relates to Integrity Commission, Andrew Holness transactional activities were mostly advanced during the pandemic period.
Yes.
Now, when you look at that, how would SSL, let me ask again, doing investment that would be profitable in the pandemic period so that Andrew Holness can get return on investment? And the other question,
yes,
why is it that it is only Andrew Holness who we know so far benefited from SSL?
Let me answer that now. So, in the pandemic, the whole world shut down when Andrew opened these 3 shell company.
This is
no workers, no PS stub for nobody at all. And SSL raise money and him make money. When everything shut down, you know, brother, shut down. Woman come past ship and them have to send her you because them in never make she duck. She lose her baby. Woman lose her baby. Couldn't duck. I know water. But in at the same time, him open shell company and I run how much money in it. Oh, that work, me don't know. That is I saw impossible task, you know. Remember say, you know, in them time, the member say even the hotel them shut down, brother. Plane not listen. Oh, I do this. Me don't know. Oh, I do it.
Bangaram.
Yeah?
Bangaram.
Meanwhile, people are paying 200,000 for mask. One man pays 700,000 for try to eat because she's sick. Me can't understand what made around it. This guy crazy. And still third what? You have to third prison. You have to third term in a prison. And when you term
Andrew Holness was only playing smart, but he was not being clever. He used the pandemic period to do all these type of shenanigans as it relates to opening up shell company and, you know, fast tracking these vast amount of money we see around to the account. But, you know, he thought more than less, well, this was the period of time to activate his activity. So, but it wasn't a clever move. He tried to outsmart everybody, you know. Have everybody grounded, locked in tight, and then him roam the place. But it wasn't a clever move.
Hear it.
You understand?
Grieve, and they can't send this Jamaica.
Hold on. You don't say it not clever. This clever.
Grieve, you baby heart grieve. And they can't send this to me, I tell you. I tell you, I know. Me never expect this from you. Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, this you're a fucking wicked man. And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you're full of blood. Grieve, you baby heart grieve. And they can't send this to me, I tell you. I tell you, I know. Me never expect this from you. Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, this you're a fucking wicked man. And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you're full of blood clot crowd. You understand? And and then this is where you do the party.
Now I'm going to play this. Jai. Let me say something to you, Jai. And the most thing you do, you think of any way money. No, Andrew to one fit, they will agree, yes. So I him the chief servant. Because 8 years him sit down the farm, food him crying. All of them have cried.
But Wayne,
Yeah, man.
what Jai is admitting to and what Jai is telling the people of Jamaica is egregious. Because when you look at that, Jai is admitting that indeed corruption is taking place.
That is it.
That's music to a prosecutor's ears. I'm glad she said it.
She's admitting that.
Exhibit A.
She's saying that she's aware of that.
Yes.
And that is, this is, you know, we might hear the clip and, you know, we laugh at it.
Yeah, but you're working at that. Yes.
But what she's saying, she's admitting to the entire Jamaica that corruption is taking place.
Yeah, everywhere.
Son.
Hey, sometimes the truth come through laughter, you know.
Yes.
You hear a little thing and it sound like, you know, it's just a little script where I play out. But the truth is in it.
And you know how you get the truth? Because Ennis, she said my move and she said, "Ima, I talk about everything because you so it just something 8 years full of crap."
Yeah. And then the deputy mayor, if him did leave, that's another issue. Them did want fed up together for be the deputy.
Yes.
But every time they speak, they make
Andrew because of the 8 years when them full him crap too. Him full him crap more than yes. So
That one, you know, speech cover the whole entire of the corruption arms within the party. Because a lot of people don't know that speech was made for who, you know. Fed thing, but you can attribute it to Andrew Holness as well. Because everybody was pulling them crap.
Yeah. Again,
Well, there you go. All of them. Yeah. Them full them crap.
Yes.
You understand?
You sit down and him know about it. That's why they never want to lose it. Remember, they want to fight for keep.
Yeah.
Him not say nothing because these are all them corrupted. So she know by true she grieve, she just come out and just
say. She just come out and spill it. She spill her gut because she know everything. And she know where them die. She know where them eat. She know where them digest. You understand? Yes. But one thing I want to say to you know, in all of this, you know, I just want the informal ignorance them just see how they are going to enjoy them Christmas this year, because I know them not going to face the level of harassment and atrocity and criminality with them face in recent time. I just asking them to make sure that they obey whatever rules and regulations are put in place and just do them thing cordially as it goes along with the regulation. But I'm positively sure that there won't be any harassment and things take up a throw in some little criminal van with some criminal man with sledgehammer. Me know that I have the book. But one thing, please don't abuse the power. Because the power is of a limited capacity. Because we don't have no town center we're big enough for all the people who might come out to try and make a bread for them family. But just behave cordially and enjoy the ride.
But this. We even have to talk to them because the mayor, yes, when a man come face you and him do one-to-one with you, you show him respect. That's why you see it so clean and I run good. And use things and work. So we could have leave Kingston St. Andrew out and talk to some other places. Because That's all. The one of them.
No, I was just merely hypothetically speaking that it extend right across all them places where we sit down in a whole harbor where white beard are going all them places there. Yeah. You know, everybody we are sell now, just sell in an orderly fashion, please.
Yeah, so the people them say, can't enough of them getting I mean shoot, you know. If you ever see the place clean and nice and all the man go around and him talk to them one to one. It's when people come out to you and show leadership skill, you know, violate them, you know. And if you try it, other people are get mad.
Exactly. You're right, Lonesome. You're right, that's so.
Yeah. You know, if you there you are saying, you know, say, a man will come and you see him in person and know him deal with you. You not gonna violate. You see him come and wash
true.
Clean it. So, you know, actually you want to run across Jamaica. But how it run, so we want the whole of Jamaica run now. It get back clean. Crossroad Market, one of them places we're supposed to shut down, it get clean. You understand?
Yeah, they may do some type of refurbishment of a Crossroad Market and thing like that.
Downtown, there's to the world. I want me to look at, hey, them send me something I me can't shoot. My phone full enough. Look at the road, them I said this is the first. One day I have to carry him and then I have to show some of them footage. The amount of work. I went down what theater dirty nasty and think forever sit down there. Where you talk about the man that clean up because everywhere nasty, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And then walk the street and talk to you. Like a man did that do. Like a man did do. So when people walk and talk to you, you feel like you're more. Me not talk, some people talk about rather man 28.
Yeah, you get recognition from that. You know? Yeah. There's a semblance of recognition.
Yes. So you gotta respect the place now, because you say, look how this stay. You not go, and nobody not gonna allow you to do that neither. Because when people start, remember, nobody not run nobody, them get fired, them boy the way you sit down to get fired. Them. So, and like, some people are come mash you up now. You like what you see, you gotta just say, no man, look how we live like Steve now, we come free up yourself. You can't go outside of them and try. Go try it. And make a man just go try it, say man do something else out of that. Some man I get mad and maybe I'll come smart and say you must see mad. After we all live good and I get them kind of treatment that you want to come mash up this, you not love to do it. We not ask. Well, Titan, we see the time kick over and we're going over 5 minutes.
Already?
Yeah,
I lie.
Yeah, man. Coming up on my live. Sorry, I'm late. Big up all the panel and everyone. Chat. I didn't read the chat, but thank you, everybody.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, blessings.
Yeah.
Well, I just said there now.
Yeah. After we have to knock it, we have no more things for that, but the time is not permit we. So, we can go do what we have to do because, you know, be a movement. Yeah, brothers?
Right.
Enough respect.
Yeah, man. Enough respect, man. Yeah, man. Blessings all around.
Titans, no two about it. 1 a.m.